Warning. The information shared in these conversations and videos are intended for general knowledge and entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered as legal advice or professional guidance. Additionally, any documentation or references to specific content are solely for the purpose of discussion and understanding. It does not imply endorsement, promotion, or support of said content. The views expressed in these videos and/or conversation are those of the individuals involved and do not represent any official stance or opinion. The content you are about to experience may contain strong language, including explicit words and phrases. This language is used for artistic expression and may be integral to the storyline or character development. It is important to note that the use of such language does not endorse or promote offensive behavior. Viewer discretion is advised, and please enjoy the show responsibly. Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. The Canadian Copyright Act, Section 29, allows an individual to use copyright-protected materials when creating a new work such as a mashup and to post the new work online on a website like YouTube. Fair dealing provision for specific purposes like research, private study, education, parody, satire, criticism, review, and news reporting.
Step up, step up! Yeah! We pledge! We pledge! We pledge! We pledge! Yeah. Step in the arena, mind locked and loaded. Truth on my blade, every line's exploded. You swing your words, I counter with precision. Battle of reason, this is my mission. Raise your fist, let them know. No. Raise your voice, let it blow. Woo! We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Step back, I'm a scholar and a fighter. Every claim you throw, I strike tighter. Logic and power, I never fold. In the war of words, I'm solid gold. Raise your fist, let them know. Whoa. Raise your voice, let it blow. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. Yeah. No fear, no chain, no treason. Woo. We clash our swords of reason. Every thought a fortress, every claim a storm. We forge a truth where chaos takes form. Ideas ignite like lightning through the night. In the war of minds, we bring the light. Step in, feel the heat. Truth is my weapon, never beat. Raise them high, break the ceiling. With a fire, with a feeling. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. No fear, no chain, no treason. We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. No fear, no chain, no treason. We clash our swords of reason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through like no retreating. No fear, no chain, no treason. We clash our swords of reason.
Welcome, everybody, to Swords of Reason right here on the Speakeasy Show, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. This is where logic meets passion. If you're new here, the format is simple. Each debater gets 10 minutes for their opening statement, followed by 5 minutes of uninterrupted rebuttals. After that, we're going to enter the arena for a full hour of back and forth debates. This is where the arguments can clash and the iron sharpens the iron. And finally, each side delivers a 5-minute closing statement to lock in their case. When that's done, we move into a 30-minute Q&A. I'll drop a Q&A in the chat there for you guys, but keep in mind the Super Chat, PayPals, and Cash Apps. These questions will get priority, so if they fill up the entire 30 minutes, the free chat questions may not get answered. So if there's something you want guaranteed to be asked, make sure you send it through one of those priority options. And once the formal debate wraps up, we open the doors for a chaos and chill panel. This is where the community can hop in, challenge the debaters, or ask follow-ups if the debaters choose to stick around, because that part is optional for them. But it's always where things get wild regardless. Today's debate prompt is the Mankind Project is the most dangerous currently active cult. And today's debaters representing the affirmative, we have Avarice, a familiar face in the online debate panel space, and a valued member of the community here. Oh shit! Are we? You guys hear me still, right?
Yeah.
What is going on? Everything just froze for me. Oh shit. Okay, here we go. Sorry, you guys are back for me. I hope it's not going to fuck with me tonight. But listen, a familiar face in the online debate panel scene and a respected member of the community making his debut on the Swords of Reason. But don't let the word debut fool you. All right. Avarice is no stranger to heated debates, controversial discussions, and standing 10 toes down on some of the most divisive topics of the modern era. Known by many as the one behind the scene forces helping keep things rolling over on the Normal America with Rob Nord channel. And he's also earned a legendary reputation as the undisputed Disney whip song connoisseur of the stream. And when he's not in the trenches of online discourse, he's usually over on Rust turning players into sacrificial lambs. All right. And you can find his link in the description below. And for the negative, we have JS Urban Adventures running a lifestyle channel that feels like controlled chaos in the best way possible. He covers everything from breaking news, cultural hot topics, to deep dives into politics, philosophy, and theology. 1 minute, he's dissecting a UFC fight card, and the next, he's dropping character impersonations so accurate, they'll have the chat questioning reality. All right. And somehow in the middle of all that, he's built what many viewers call the coolest Bible study on YouTube. All right. Blending humor, real conversation, and unapologetic discussion in a way that keeps people coming back. So go show support to JS. Find his links in the description below. With that being said, we are going to move into opening statements. Avarice, you are up first. So let's get into your opening statement.
Is there audio?
Yeah, I don't hear it.
You guys don't hear it?
No.
Really? Oh, wait a minute then. I fucked up. Let me try that again. Try it again. Try it again.
Remember that captain underlined flawless start?
Flawless.
Welcome to the Mankind Project. Channel your inner real masculinity. Here at the Mankind Project, we would describe ourselves as a pro-woman, feminist organization that seeks to help men dismantle entrenched systems of misogyny. With over 80,000 new warriors and over 1,000 active integrated groups happening right now. Signing up is easy. So go ahead, take your clothes off, and join our inner circle of men. Located in over 27 countries, your journey begins now. On Friday of New Warrior Training Adventure, we took away your name and gave you a number. You then earned your way to a spirit animal name. When you return home, you also return to the new role you play in this world. Becoming open, honest, and vulnerable. You will no longer be using these toxic words like ignoring, fixing, projecting, and aggression. Instead, you'll be using your newly learned warrior words like listening deeply, empathy, assertiveness, and I statements. If you're a mandatory reporter, we will ask you to leave the group a lot. We protect all men in our organization, even if you touch tots. I think you heard enough from me though, so let's hear it from a few of our testimonials.
Hey, my name is Mitch Lingard. I am the Eagle. The reason that I went to the mountain and decided to do the work is because I had a problem with anger. And growing up, my father was very angry, he was aggressive, and I didn't feel safe.
I'm joining a cult.
In 2012, I joined a men's group called the Mankind Project, which is a men's group for all men.
I don't got nothing to lose. I'm trying to figure out an adventure here.
I wasn't born in this country. I didn't grow up in any one particular religion. I have a mixed race background, and I'm gay.
Oxford says,
Spartan.
and I don't agree with this, because it says a relatively small group of people having beliefs or practices, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or sinister, or as imposing excessive control over members.
The fundamental principle of a cult is power, control, and manipulation.
Do it. You have to include religion. The husband could manipulate and control the wife. Does that make the husband a cult leader? Every doomsday cult leads to the mass suicides, the mass murders. I think the doomsday cults are the most dangerous.
There's a hunger in you, and it wants to meet that vast greatness. That hunger says there's more to life, and yet sometimes it seems scary and unsafe because you don't know what's going to happen.
Can't work on the Sabbath is harmful.
When you're a free person, then you do have control of your own time. And so the Sabbath is the gift of time that's given to us.
Could go down a whole thing and say that the Mankind Project isn't even a cult.
That's your cat.
I have no idea how I'm going to write this opening, because I had a plan and everything is falling apart, and then I'm putting stuff. I'm like putting scribbles and notes all over. I have a nice, neat little idea web, and now I have all these little like notes and scribbles all over it.
Just be like, just your opening statement is 9/11.
Pepe Sylvia. This name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia.
Seventh-day Adventist has a church down the street from me, and they're not killing anybody.
Hello. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
Imagine a circle of men, a circle of brothers, where everyone listens not only to what you say, but also the truth behind your words.
I feel like this is a space where I'm able to show up fully as myself, and all sides of myself, whether it's the negative, the positive, any feeling that I'm bringing into this circle of men.
Is there like grape circles? It's a giant circle jerk in the woods.
Ha! Gay!
He says the Mankind Project is spreading gayness. Gayness is bad.
Ergo, Mankind Project is bad.
I mean, gay is bad, but like, there's gay everywhere.
A gay bridge. Fruity. Oh my God, look at the colors. They're so beautiful.
Dude, I don't even know if I should write an opening for this debate. I have no idea where to go with this.
So just tell me what to do.
It's spreading gayness, then I don't know if that's going to be the most. I have no idea where you're going with this. Force gayness?
You're gay.
If you have never felt safe or at ease in a group of men, this is the place to figure out why and change that. Nudity is particularly important for this process because most of the men being nude intensifies our feelings about our bodies.
And it was a community of men that initiated you into their circle of brotherhood.
You're standing there fully dressed while all these naked dudes are passing around a wooden dildo. A hammer to a bucket of fried chicken while you're naked with a bunch of guys.
Hello, 911. No, I ain't calling a snitch. I got a real emergency.
A bunch of guys naked in a circle, beating their meat with a big wooden dildo. It seems super gay and it seems super liberal.
Period. Period. Period.
No. They allow men with vaginas.
What the hell is even that?
Avers has a wife and a baby. He's not in the woods stripping down, beating his chicken. I might lose this debate. I might take a L on this debate.
No.
The most dangerous cult is Islam. It's the most widespread. It's the largest, the fastest growing. They demand the death of their enemies. They encourage polygamy, incest. See, antinatalist is common. This is the most dangerous cult.
All right, that's it. No more, because the cost is too high.
I don't even know what sort of progress we made in this debate prep.
Progress?
I have no idea anything anymore. Damn! I might lose this debate. This might be the most dangerous cult.
You are coping and seething.
Lose this debate.
Hi, I'm Avarice, and my opponent may be able to find a more dangerous and destructive cult in the short term. But we need to look at the current broader scope of antinatalism, feminist indoctrination, and ongoing suffering caused by the Mankind Project. Even my opponent agreed. These values are going to present more harm and destruction to society and individuals in the aggregated long term more than any other cult my opponent is going to present. Overtly, the short-term harm is less dangerous than the long-term harm from the Mankind Project. Thank you. With that, I'll concede my time.
All right. Thank you for that opening statement. And with that, we are going to hand the mic over to JS. JS, whenever you're ready for your opening statement, go ahead and I'll start the timer up with your voice.
All right. I don't know how I'm going to follow an opening with me in it, but we'll give it a shot. Hammering chickens, naked dances in the moonlight, passing around a wooden dildo with the boys, men learning to cry. These are the dangers of joining the Mankind Project and participating in the New Warrior training adventure. I recognize the evil of appealing to depressed, often substance-addicted, impressionable young men and leading them into acts of depravity. But the question in this debate will be, is this the most dangerous active cult? The answer is obviously no. In the negative position, I am not obligated to pose my own most dangerous cult, but rather, I merely have to demonstrate that the Mankind Project is not the most dangerous. So for my opening, I'll simply run through some examples of more dangerous cults based on a variety of metrics for dangerous. In order to show good faith, by the end of this debate, I will select one that I consider the most dangerous, but we can quibble about all of these examples throughout the open dialogue. Before I get into all that, I'll start by giving my definition of cult and my metrics for what makes a cult dangerous. Cult is a hard word to define. Usually it would be a small group of people, often living communally with shared religious or philosophical beliefs, and a charismatic leader who controls through manipulation. This is an adequate definition, but some cults are very large, don't have centralized leadership, or claim to have no religious belief, making this definition flexible. I'll mainly be using two metrics for what I consider dangerous. The first will be a spiritual danger that applies to souls being led away from heaven. We can call this danger hell maxing. The other danger metric would be purely physical, relating to things like physical harm or death, sexual immorality, harm to children, psychological torture, separation of families, isolation, etc. After researching the Mankind Project and listening to my opponent's well-crafted opening, I acknowledge the dangers present in this cult, but I have found many more dangerous cults. Now let's get into this speed run of evil. Cults are often separated into one or more of four categories: religious, doomsday, political, and commercial or self-help cults. The Mankind Project and some of its offshoot men's circle cults would be in the commercial or self-help category. So I'll focus on this as well as other categories, primarily the religious and doomsday categories, and my own grouping, which I call weird cults. In the religious category, I would point to the LDS, Islam, and Seventh-day Adventists as the most dangerous. These cults fit under the spiritual or hell-maxing danger metric. Mormons, and not just the FLDS, we can get into those later, are allegedly a branch off and perverted sect of Christianity started by a charismatic false prophet. They have somewhere between 4 and 6 million people
and are the richest religious group in the world, surpassing even the Catholics. Islam, similar, but predating the LDS, is also an Abrahamic offshoot started by a false prophet and warlord, is the fastest growing religion or cult in the world with roughly 2 billion members. These members support polygyny, child marriage, incest, and the killing of apostates and religious rivals. This could easily be my choice for most dangerous cult, but if my opponent can argue that it doesn't qualify as a cult, he's free to try. I have more. My last most dangerous religious cult would be the Seventh-day Adventists, who also fit into the second category of doomsday cults. Adventists have a deeply apocalyptic doomsday theology and are the origin of now defunct cults like the Waco-based Branch Davidians and arguably the most deranged cult ever, the Anthill Kids. With 23.6 million members, this so-called Christian sect is a very dangerous cult. Speaking of doomsday cults, this brings me to what I consider the most dangerous cult category. With a focus on the apocalypse or the end times, these groups have little to no respect or value for life. Matthew 6:4 tells us not to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. And Acts 1:7 says no man knows the time or the date the Father has set, in reference to the end times. But these cults ignore this and continually dwell on thoughts of the end. Groups like the 12 Tribes and the Family International, or formerly the Children of God, were nefarious for their harm to children, with the former severely beating on command from God and refusing them medical attention due to a religious aversion to modern Western medicine. The latter, Children of God, would use children's TV shows, comic books, and songs to normalize the essay leaders would inflict on the kids. The worst of these doomsday cults was the Japan-based Aum Shinrikyo, known currently as Aleph. After being found guilty of the 1994 Matsumoto sarin attack, which killed 8 people and injured 500, and the later more infamous Tokyo subway sarin attack, which killed 13 and injured 6,000, 6 of its leaders were executed in Japanese prison, but killing these leaders did not stop the cult's violence. On New Year's Day in 2019, a car was driven through a crowded Takashita street in protest of the execution, injuring 9 people. Aleph is still active and being watched by the Japanese government and has failed 5 times to report properly on their actions and membership. Aleph is surely a top 3 and a very good candidate for most dangerous cult. The next category is self-help cults. This is the category where we would put MKP. There are many examples of self-help cults. Groups often focus on providing answers and guidance for vulnerable people through paid courses, spiritual mysticism, retreats, pyramid schemes, and eventually coercion and manipulation. But I mainly focus on researching 3 of them. One being, of course, the deeply closeted MKP. Another being the notorious NXIVM, which is largely defunct after most of its leaders were arrested for sex trafficking, but remains active through splinter groups. The last being one we all know well, Scientology. Boasting 20 to 40,000 members worldwide, this highly secret group has been tied to extensive amounts of unsavory activity, from accusations against David Miscavige, his missing wife, family separation, to psychological and physical abuse. This group ranks high in the physical harm metric for danger, but its true danger comes from the Hell Max ranking on this one. Considered a religion legally, this tax-exempt corporation has taken over cities like Clearwater, Florida, and San Francisco, and continues to grow even though new membership rates have been dwindling. Celebrity backing from megastars like John Travolta and Tom Cruise helps boost this anti-God, pro-Xenu nonsense into mainstream acceptance and popularity. This could be in the established religion cult category, but I see it more as the worst, most dangerous self-help cult. I'll skip the political cults for now for the sake of time in the opening, but we can dig into more into what that even means throughout the debate. But before wrapping up, I want to mention some that don't really fit nicely into any of these categories, but are just weird. Heaven's Gate, whose branding and symbolism is celebrated in hip-hop concerts and album art from artists like Lil Uzi Vert, is still active, even though 39 early members commit mass suicide. The 7M TikTok cult, who were recently featured on DCNN, had houses raided where they were keeping young TikTok dance stars, essentially content houses, in multiple locations for impressionable young girls who aren't yet OnlyFans age, but will be eventually. Lastly, and this could very well be a late number 1 pick for me for most dangerous cult, considering I just learned about it on Monday, 764. This nihilistic violent extremist group, or MVE, is possibly the sickest group of people in existence, and most of its members are children. Started on Discord and Roblox by a 15-year-old who is currently serving an 80-year prison sentence, this cult attracts kids, love bombs them into sharing sexually explicit pictures, often CP since new members are frequently very young, then uses extortion tactics to convince victims to do increasingly horrible things. They have amassed an enormous collection of charges, arrests, and live-streamed horror. Kids being coerced to beat and eat their pets, self-harm. One member live-streamed his self-immolation, which was cheered on by his extortionist. Murders, CP, and CSAM by the terabyte, and an unstoppable growth of many well-known and monitored splinter groups and offshoots. 764 Cult is recognized as a terrorist group in multiple countries and is under close scrutiny by the American FBI. I'll explain more of the extremely serious danger that 764 presents later. This is just a tip of the dangerous cult iceberg, and I could reference many more, and we could argue about rankings endlessly. But I would argue that at least 3 of the cults I just listed, if not all of them, are more dangerous than MKP. And that's all from me for now.
All right. Thank you for that opening statement. With that, we're going to get into the rebuttal round here. So this is 5 minutes for each of you to, or uninterrupted for each of you to directly respond to your opponent's opening argument. So it's not a back and forth yet. So no interjections for this part. And then we'll get into the open floor after this. So we're going to hand the mic back to Avarice. Avarice, whenever you're ready for your 5-minute uninterrupted rebuttal, I will start the timer up with your voice.
Yeah, so let's dive into this here. My opponent wants to give out this idea of what a cult is. He actually broadened it so much that he included amazing things like Christianity and religion, because he included Islam and Scientology, which are 2 nationally recognized religions, as America would say it, and so would the world. So he brought up religions. So again, let's just say he brought up religions, all right, which are not cults. On top of it, let's just continue to move the ball. He would then go on to talk about the small minimal murders of 85, 100, still not anywhere near mass when we're talking about antinatalism here. We're talking about the indoctrination of our men and the creation of toxic masculinity, and that and how men are perceived today. They aim to rid the world of many things that we can get into later, but let's just sit at the antinatalist and feminist behavior here. And there, in my world, there's nothing more dangerous than feminism. But let's continue. Then he brings up, and I want to just take a moment here and sit on the 764. The most remember, this is his argument for the most dangerous cult, albeit, all right, decentralized, unorganized, and a spectacle in nature online cult, which has no evidence. So I have a question for you on this rebuttal. Provide me the evidence of any of these claims for the 764. Any evidence that you could provide on these claims for them, on who their leader is, where their power is, and anything that involves a cult-like behavior, or just pick people. Show me any member of the 764. Like, that's what I would like to see from you. I would like to see evidence of their damage, real evidence. They are just a spectacle. They lack substance for danger whatsoever. So while you sit there and Google that and look for your 764 dangers, all right, which you claim to be the most dangerous in nature. All right, let's continue to talk about how dangerous it is subverting men. All right, and most men here, it just 80,000 this year alone and growing. Right, men are being subverted not only into Christian ideology to promote gay churches and LGBT and openness through men, to make sure that men do not create children, that we live without women and destroy this world. Not only that, but to create us and turn us into our own women, to make us the women. All right, let's be very clear here. They want us to be the feminists here. And there is no other way around that. I have papers and doctrines and pieces of evidence of their back end, which I've already submitted to Speakeasy, that shows that they are changing the way we speak. All right. They are changing the how we use masculine words and demasculating them into feministic terms. On top of it, and I just want to end it one more time on the 764. I'm not saying that they haven't killed anybody. I'm saying that the amount in the amount of these numbers and how massive it is a spectacle in comparison. He's again with my original claim of he is staring at the short-term destruction and danger opposed to the long-term danger and destruction from the cult of the Mankind Project. I can see about 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you for that uninterrupted rebuttal. And with that, we're going to hand the mic over to JS. JS, whenever you're ready for your uninterrupted 5 minutes, I will start the timer up with your voice.
So from your opening, I saw that it's got feminism. It's been, I guess, infiltrated by feminism because, you know, I was reading about it and it said wokeness is taking over the Mankind Project and wokeness is ruining the Mankind Project. And I saw things about misogyny, but then you say it's feminist. So I don't know if you're arguing that feminism is the true cult, that's the worst cult, that's bringing in these anti-natalist ideas into the Mankind Project. If feminism infiltrated the Mankind Project and is turning the men into a bunch of gay women, then that would mean feminism is the most dangerous cult. And maybe we could put that into the political cult category, because there's a whole category for political cults. And I didn't even take time to dig into that. But if political cults are a thing, could we say Marxism is a cult? Feminism is a cult? That would mean feminism is more dangerous than the Mankind Project. Feminism is the more dangerous cult. I said in my opening that my definition was loose because some people would consider Christianity a cult. I don't, but there used to be an old definition of cult, and they don't use this anymore. I don't know why. I don't know why they took this qualifier out, but they would say it's often a twisted version of an already established religion. Muslims would fit into that. They twisted Christianity. Mormons would fit into that because they twisted Christianity. A lot of these cults, often they're not super original. The charismatic prophet or whatever, sometimes he's kind of dumb and he just borrows from different things and puts them together in a hodgepodge and says, I got a new religion started. And then they'll say it's a branch off of Christianity or it's a branch off of Buddhism or something like that. So, and about the size, the reason the size is flexible is because every cult starts out as a small group or a small commune of people. But if they grow over decades and decades and decades and they have staying power like the Mormons do, like Islam does, then they just become a really big cult. So if you want to find some number to settle on where it doesn't become a cult anymore, well, what if I say that number is 50,000? Then Mankind Project isn't a cult anymore. You said 80,000 members. I think you said 80,000. I think you were referring to their membership.
Mankind Project says they only have 75,000 members, and Google says they only have 10,000 active members. Maybe 75,000 men went through the program, through the adventure camp, but they don't have 75,000 active members. They have 10,000 active members, and then they have a bunch of guys who think they're going on a men's retreat, and then they leave and nothing happens after that. Like, just because some of them get embedded in the group and stay in it and get brainwashed and all that stuff, the large majority of men go into this, it's just a weekend outdoor retreat. And I mean, I don't have a lot of like victim reports. I tried to find testimonies and bad stories. I found one crazy guy who made like, well, I don't know if he's crazy, but he seemed kind of crazy, but he made like 7 videos 12 years ago about the Mankind Project, trying to expose them. Never gained any traction, which, you know, maybe they have their hands in the internet and they can keep that stuff stifled. But I just don't see a huge outcry of dangers coming from this. 764, Bradley Caden is the leader of it. He's the one that's in prison for 80 years. He's on a, if it ran concurrently, he'd be on like a 320-year sentence, but consecutively, it's an 80-year sentence. He's already eligible for parole on his charges. Now, they put a note in his trial that said, if he ever comes up for a parole hearing, look into his case. Don't just go off of how he's acting in jail. Look into his case because he is a continual danger. 764 is well organized online. It's huge. It has tons of branch offs, and they have documented torturing pets, multiple suicides, murder on tape. Somebody recorded themselves killing an old lady. That's on video. You can watch that on YouTube. It's all blurred out, but they have all that video evidence. Yeah, I think I covered everything. That'd be good.
All right. Thank you for that rebuttal. Great rebuttals from both sides. Before we move into the open hour of back and forth, let me talk to the audience real quick. If you're watching right now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to tonight's debaters. Okay, the links are in the description. We host all kinds of debates here on Swords of Reason. Politics, culture, ethics, internet topics, anything where reasoning and passion can collide. So if you enjoy this format, make sure you stay locked in because we have a lot more coming for you, okay? Also, a reminder for the live chat, after the closing statements, we're going to be doing a 30-minute Q&A. The Q&A is already dropped in there for you, but remember, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, PayPal, Cash Apps, these will all get priority, and if they fill up the whole 30 minutes, the free chat questions may not get read. So if you have something you really want answered, send it through one of those priority options. We'll make sure it gets asked. And finally, thank you to both our debaters for being here tonight and sharing their perspective in the arena. Whenever one of you is ready to start the open floor exchange, just go ahead and jump in and I'll start the timer up with your voice.
You're muted.
You're muted, Avarice.
Let's just nail this 764 and get it out of the way. So Bradley Carden has been in jail. There's no reason that he has contact. He's under 24/7 surveillance. There's no contact on the outside, and there's been no reason for him to have contact with the 764. So can you show me outside of this Brandon Caden a member list? Any members? Any specifics?
They have the members all available online in Discord.
Can I see it?
You want me to pull it up for you? It would take me time to find. I didn't save it in my files.
Okay, well, I have a member list provided already of the Mankind Project, already 10,000 members, plus the 80,000 that you're looking for, which I have a total of 128,000 provided already from the Mankind Project. And that's just of contacts. There's their street address, phone number, wife, spouse, kids, etc. I've already provided that information to Speakeasy. Can you please give me or provide to Speakeasy a member list of?
No, I'll find it and DM it to you later.
Okay, that's fantastic. So I would like that. So let's just.
But I don't really feel like logging into their Discord.
Well, that's not on you, right?
Because a
or
bunch of
that's-
other
that's on your
Discords
claim.
have bots that say if
Okay.
you ever join that Discord, they immediately ban you from
Again,
their
that's-
Discord.
That's on your claim. So I just want to make sure to claim your claim. Now let's move on here. Past the 764, since I don't think you really have enough evidence to make them look dangerous at all. Right?
Who's the guy that he went viral because there was a short of him, his stepdad shooting at him and he shot him
I
in
don't
the
know.
ear.
This is your claim.
It went viral. That guy was a part of 764. He got picked up. He's in jail. They have a long list of arrests. I have stuff from the FBI. Do you want the FBI? 764 extremist group leader pleads guilty to RICO child exploitation charges. So
Is this the Bradley Caden case again?
This is somebody else, Chavez.
Okay, then I think you're making
there's
making shit up because there's no public Discord or anything like that.
They don't have a Discord group.
I don't think they have public Discord.
Do you know what the com is?
I don't think that you. I think you're just making shit up.
There's a bunch of them. There's Murder Kill, which they're also called MKP, the Maniac Killers Party.
Can you just get me the member list or tell me, show me the Discord. Show me this Discord.
No, I don't have a members list right now.
Okay.
If you want to have a Google party, we can have a Google party.
Do you have like this Discord or evidence of this Discord? Or how about any rituals?
Yeah.
Do you have evidence of their rituals?
Yeah,
how
there's
about
stuff
that?
from the FBI warning parents about it.
Again, that's just a warning.
They go
from
on
the FBI.
Roblox. They go on Roblox. They go on Minecraft. They attract young children. They do what's called sextortion, where they'll find a young 12-year-old girl and a bunch of 20-year-old guys. Some of the oldest in the group are 25 years old. The majority of them are under 18. And a bunch of guys will tell this girl, "Oh, you're so sweet. You're so nice. You know, I care about you so much. Will you be my girlfriend? Oh, well, why don't you send me a couple pictures?" And then as soon as she sends pictures, these people, they have hacking skills. They have internet skills. They're tech savvy. They know how to dox people. They know how to find their parents' address. They'll do background checks on their whole family. They do bricking, where they'll drive by your house and throw bricks at your car, bricks at your house. And then
again, these are all things that are alleged. You can't prove any.
Not
of this.
alleged.
There's no proven. No, this is alleged. This is all alleged. If the FBI had evidence on this, they would have actually arrested people for this.
They have arrested many people.
No,
In fact,
you only have the Bradley Candon case for the 764.
No, you can type in 764 cult crimes and you can start scrolling through it. 10 minutes of murder, prosecuting 764, an examination of federal and state. FBI is warning parents, they're considered a terrorist group.
Okay,
they're
so
being
now
watched by the FBI.
Okay, so now are they a terrorist group or a cult?
You can be both. That's not
Oh, you
mutually
can. Okay, I was
exclusive.
gonna say, I still don't think
Yeah.
you have enough evidence. Of them
Aleph,
doing any
Aleph
of this,
is
so.
considered a terrorist group in
I
Japan.
don't think you have enough evidence. I
actually have evidence. You don't have
You-
any
you don't-
evidence that anybody from Mankind Project has died as a result of the New Warrior Training Adventure.
Actually, there is evidence that 3 members have died at the New Warrior Training Adventure.
You're not talking about the 3 guys in England who allegedly commit suicide, and there's a case going on looking into them?
No, I'm talking about the one in. There was one in Memphis. 2 in Memphis. They were heat exhaustion, and then one in the Florida from drowning.
Okay, well, are we going to play the thing where you're going to need to... What's their names?
Sure.
Let's not have then we just end up having a Google party.
Well, I mean, I'm not
that's like
Googling,
you
I'm
can-
not Googling. I was just going to go to my actual documents for MKP.
Okay.
But
I know, I have documents too.
Well, I mean, I submitted a bunch
folders.
of documents. What I'm trying to say here is, so let's get to the actual matter of time. You're talking
Okay,
about this.
but just how I believe
want to
that
be
you can
very
find those
clear
3
here.
guys' names. Do you
What
believe
you're
that I
talking?
can find a list of names of people who got arrested from 764?
I think maybe you could find 2 or
Worldwide.
3. I think 2 or 3, but no. Now let's just look at the minimal damage here. You're looking at here, and you're still leaning into this. You're looking at the short term, like a killing or something like that, getting put on a
No.
watch list. These are all short term things.
No.
Doxing somebody. It doesn't have a long term indoctrination into a society, right? Ours is indoctrinating men to be women. That is the whole idea. They are changing the way of which men look and act around other men, and they promote men to teach this to other men.
Is that
And
how
that's the whole
the
indoctrination is?
is that what the Mankind Project was originally founded to be like, or was that something
Correct.
that happened recently?
No, that is what it was based on. I actually have the original the original documents here. Nothing has been edited from Bob and everything else.
Bill Kalf?
Well, you say Bill Kelp, I call him Bob, but yeah.
Okay. Bill Kalf and Rich Tosi. I have video of those guys on YouTube. There's videos of those guys talking about how the mankind has been infiltrated by wokeness and it's ruining it.
Well, I'm glad that you can say that they've been infiltrated by wokeness. What they're talking about is not the pull towards feminism and awakenness. What they're talking about is religious indoctrination. What they're specifically going at in those videos is talking about how too many Christians are like going in there too, and how that's like in how they're accepting too many things or too many there's the was specifically with that one they're talking about the women's group that they have as well, and they're not happy with the women's group.
I couldn't find a women's group. I saw they had GBTQ plus groups and BIPOC groups, which is pretty liberal and woke stuff.
You didn't see the extension group, the all women's extension group.
Not on their website.
Well, there's an all women's extension group ran by a woman named Fiona. You're more than happy to go look that up. There was actually
so that's the Womankind Project.
No, it's not the Womankind Project. It's
okay, but that's just like Boy Scouts start allowing women in and trans in. But that's because Boy Scouts was infiltrated by wokeness.
So when they were talking about the wokeness, they were pretty
Feminism.
much talking. They were talking about they were
or
pretty
Marxism.
Nope, they were talking about allowing women, particularly the sect, the bottom sect, kind of like how the American Legion has the Wives Club.
Okay. So that's it sounds to me like it's been infiltrated by feminism.
No, it sounds like to me it started with feminism. It started right there with the indoctrination of Jungianism, actually. This is where it comes from. Right. So this is what they look at.
Feminism.
So hold on. No, so hold on. So this is what I want to be very clear, because I want to go through a fine line here of what you're talking about, political and other things here. What we're looking at here is Jungianism. All right. And this is a fine line between feminism and Jungianism. But when you come to Jungianism, what they want you to do is they want you to look at past trauma, right? And they want you to try to come above it using what they would call is this masculine field, right, of modern masculinity, right? And they use softer terms to actually make it so that men are less aggressive, right? And people betray that because the Jungian idealism, it has this non-aggressive factor to it. They may run it to a close line of the feminism cult as much as accepting feminism. What they do is they do accept the feminism cult because it's accepting, it's a part of the original core trait to the Jungian ideology.
Okay. Yeah, I understand all that, but feminism has occultic roots. So I could say,
so does Jungian ideology. You agree to that, right?
So I could say Jungian is a political cult. Feminism is a political cult.
But it's
Those
not
are
a
both.
It's
those
not
are
a
both
political,
more dangerous than the Mankind Project.
Jungian ideology is still self-help, and it's always been. It's always been a self-help cult. Even since the Sannyasins, when the Sannyasins were taking over Oregon, which is one of the core pillars of MKP, a lot of the members from the Sannyasins actually moved into MKP. Those members, right? They actually helped develop one of the core pillars.
Okay, so would you consider Jungianism a cult?
No, I would consider Jungianism the ideology of the cult.
Okay, that's fine. And Well, one thing you mentioned that I want to address is you said I'm focused on the short term.
No, you are. Yes.
Yeah, and I disagree. I think that 764 is only going to grow and get more dangerous as social media grows. Everybody's on their phone. Kids are getting handed phones at young ages and iPads. They find their way around the parental controls.
You have no evidence of this.
Yes, I do. I watched a 2-hour documentary where it was about the dad who lost his daughter, and he goes through her messages and shows you all the conversations she's having with these people.
Yeah, I can watch things on Netflix too, and that's all fucking dramatized too. It's again, we can dramatize all day long.
Regardless, when he's going through her Discord and her text messages and her videos and stuff that she was sending these guys,
when he finds her in the bathtub, I stand on the 764 being decentralized and unorganized.
When he finds her in the bathtub and she's carved the name of her extorter into her chest and her leg, deeply carved them, and her extorter is online saying, "Yeah, give me a picture." Ooh, yeah, and then they share it. They make lore folders where they have tons and tons and tons of torture porn, CP, all sorts of stuff, and the FBI knows about this. They're watching them. And this is a long-term thing because internet, social media, all this stuff's going to get more pervasive. It's
again, they're decentralized and unorganized. Can you please provide me with any of their
They're organized. They have handbooks for how to groom kids.
Okay, where is that? Where is that? Show me that.
It's all available online. I don't have it ready to just send it to you.
Where is it? Where's the? I would like to see a handbook of this indoctrination.
It's on their Discord.
Okay, let's see.
It's in Discord folders and Reddit posts.
I think you're making it up. I would like to see I actually have documents I could bring up. Speakeasy could bring them up right now of the Jungian indoctrination of the High Chair Tyrant and the rituals.
I didn't think you would be the source guy. Source.
Well, I would like to know where here. You're saying the 764 does all these things. I don't think they're a cult. I really think they're a group. They're decentralized. They're unorganized. They're like one dude who's put in jail who has no more affiliation to the group who you're holding on. I really don't think you have.
You think they don't have other leaders set up to take his place as soon as he? And it is.
Yeah, so no, then who? Show me this handbook. That's what I'm asking. I want to know where their indoctrinations are. Where are they? Because I think you're making it up.
On the internet. The FBI is watching them as a terrorist group.
Okay, the FBI watches a lot of people.
Yeah, okay, I'll go through and I'll find you a video that you can watch.
I don't want to watch the documentary. I want to see the handbook. I want to see the handbook of their indoctrination. I want to see how they... Because I believe
a lot of this stuff.
Through my studies, through my
this is like the anarchist cookbook when you were young. A lot of this stuff. If I go download this book, I'm on a list.
Is the anarchist okay? So you're saying that they have an anarchist cookbook? That's what you're saying. Where is it?
They have an instructions for grooming.
Okay, because here's what I'm telling you. I'm led to believe, and from my studies, that they are decentralized and unorganized.
And I said in my opening, sometimes these groups are decentralized.
Okay. Okay.
Because as they grow, they get decentralized, and sometimes their whole worldview is we're anti-government, we're anarchists.
So then they're no longer a cult.
They become not a cult when they get too big and they branch off.
No, when they're decentralized.
You know, Mankind Project
it's not decentralized.
It has a bunch of offshoots.
It's not decentralized.
It's grown. It has a bunch of spirit circles where men get on Zoom calls. They take their shirts off and they beat their chests and they howl at the moon.
Again,
they're spirit circles.
That's not decentralized.
You said once they start having offshoots, they're not a cult.
No, I'm
anymore.
asking you again. Just because they do their own things or have little groups of men that get together, if they're official integrated groups, that's centralized. They have a process on how they run things. The integrated groups, the ones that you join online, the one that you didn't go to, it actually has
I tried to sign up.
Hold on, it actually has a schedule on how they're run, so they're centralized. Show me where MKP is decentralized.
I'm telling you that the centralized thing is not a necessary part of the definition. You don't have to be centralized because some of these groups are against centralization. They say we don't have
Then
leaders.
they're not. Then
We're
we
all
wouldn't
free
see them as a
spirits.
cult. That we don't see them as a cult.
Yeah, you would if part of my cult is that we're all aliens and we're Scientology. Everybody's supposed to be equal in Scientology.
They have centralized power. They have
do, but-
centralized. You see, there you go. They do.
But that's
So-
against their
no.
against
So
their
tell me.
teaching.
So tell me a cult. No, again, does the Scientology have centralized power?
Scientology has a leader of the San Francisco chapter.
Does it have
Aaron
centralized power? And then here's another thing.
And then
let's
a
just
leader
move
of the Clearwater
let's
one.
just move to the
And then a
beginning
leader of
part
this
here of
one,
what
a
I was
leader of
saying.
this one. They have multiple
We don't
leaders.
even nationally recognize that as a cult. We recognize it as a religion.
Most people that you ask would say Scientology is a cult.
I hear what you're saying, but most people I ask would say Islam is a religion, and you're saying it's a cult as well.
So you're gonna say that those aren't cults.
I would say that they are recognized as religions.
How so as soon as the government recognizes something a cult as a religion, it's not a cult
I would
anymore.
just say I would say that that's what they're recognized as, though, definitionally.
In America, anybody can start a 501c3
Again, that's again,
and say
that
we're
doesn't
doing
make it-
religious practices here.
Again, they get checked up on it. It doesn't make it a cult yet. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, and Scientology had to fight with the IRS because they were trying to take away. They were saying you're not a religious group. They had to fight with them
Again, and they unfortunately, if we want to change the laws in the way we do it in modernity, and I'm not sitting here saying that I'm not with you on making Scientology more of a cult, right? But right now, you're trying to sit here and fight even Islam, which is considered a religion to most people.
Right, and that's why I said.
If I could just maybe just step in here really quickly, because it sounds like there's a disagreement now, less about the 764 itself, and more about whether cults are defined by like I'd say the clash here is probably like a hierarchy and behavioral patterns, right? Because like Avarice is saying it's decentralized. How is this a cult when there's no hierarchy? And your responses of the behavioral patterns of the are cult-like behaviors. So like, does a cult require centralized leadership? You both.
I
could
would
go
say
ahead
I
and
would say
go with
that listen here. I would say that, and I would even say that the cult requires four things. It requires behavioral control, information control, thought control, emotional control, and a path to degeneracy.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's recognized as a religion. It doesn't matter if it has 1 million people, and it doesn't matter if it's centralized.
Again,
or not
I would say that it
in
would.
its leadership.
All I'm saying is that these are the things that would make up a cult.
Okay, so then Islam qualifies, feminism qualifies,
it
Marxism
does. Okay,
qualifies.
so wait. So if those qualify, just so we're clear, if those qualify,
By your metric.
No, they don't, because they're not a path of again. You'd have to say the religion, the information control.
A path to degeneracy? If the religion teaches you can kill your enemies and cut their heads off, seems like a path to degeneracy to me.
I hear what you're saying, but what we're getting at here is that they still hold in the morality of like Christian values or like God, right? And they're upholding to non what's the best way to put it? A non-centralized. Well, again, they're not upholding to a centralized power there of person or centralized system, right? They're upholding to something that doesn't technically exist in this modernity.
Well, what if I was, sorry to interrupt again, but what if I was to ask you guys a follow-up here? Like, if a decentralized ideology can still, like, radicalize, pressure members into some type of bad behavior, what would be the meaningful distinction that remains between that and a traditional cult?
It's the belief. It's a belief across all the people. So like you could have an anarchist cult where they're like, there is no leaders. but we're all an anarcho-commie cult where it's communal living and they all put their money into the pile and they all share out of the pile. That would be like the 12 families. They were just people who wanted to live in the woods and serve God all day. They don't have a top leader. They have leaders of each camp. But there's no centralized power because part of the cult's beliefs is we don't have centralized power. So the theme is, I agree, control through manipulation and coercion, usually started by a charismatic leader. Isolation, keeping them separate from their families and stuff like that. Scientology does that. Jehovah's Witnesses do that. So that's why defining cult is hard. You defined it. You gave a list of characteristics.
I gave the pillars that kind of make the foundations for what a cult is. I didn't like define it. I was just giving the foundations, right? Of like it has some sort of behavior control, some sort of information control, right? And some sort of thought control, emotional control, and a path of degeneracy, right? Would be like kind of like the kind of the pillars. And the path of degeneracy is that kind of just is like a little additive to kind of, so that mean you didn't have to fight Christianity. Really, I didn't want to fight Christianity with you on, is that a cult? I don't think me and you believe that is.
I don't, but some people consider Christianity.
I know, but I don't think most people do, nor do most people think
that's
Islam
why.
is.
But that's why I didn't include Hinduism or Buddhism. But I do consider Islam a cult because it took from Christianity and it rewrote our book, and it was a charismatic prophet who went off alone by himself and then changed the Bible.
There's no living central authority for Islam.
I never said in my opening, in my definition, that centralized authority. I said a small group of people often living communally with shared religious or philosophical beliefs and a charismatic leader who controls through manipulation.
Yeah, and I think we're going to disagree. I think most cults, and I think I would have to say most cults, have centralized power. If it's,
but you don't want to say all because there's some cults that.
Well, I don't know an example of one, right? I can't think of one. You're saying one that is all atheist or some kind of anarchist, but
they were communal living. It's Christian communism.
No, so
not
saying,
Christian, but
but then again, they're still appealing to Christian ethics, right? Which is still Christian appeal, which is religion, right?
Right.
And that's a splinter of the religion. That now you're getting into splinters of MKP, which I don't think is fair, right? And this is what I'm trying to say. So Islam is just a splinter of Christianity in my book.
And I think that's one of the things that I think determines a cult is when they borrow from an established religion and they twist it to make the cult.
No, and I don't think that's correct. I think more of a cult is along the lines of like the Byte module.
The Byte? What is that?
So you said you did your research on cults, but you didn't research like the most leading cult expert.
The Byte module?
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay, so the Byte model, or the Byte model, sorry, not to say module, Byte model. The Byte model is done by Dr. Stephen Hassan, one of the leading guys of cult expert doctor. And it's the overlapping components for control, behavior, information, thought, information. He basically breaks down what is a cult and the what it takes in the frameworks of cult defining as we know it today.
So does BITE stand for something? Is that an acronym?
Behavior, information, thought, and emotion.
Behavior, information, thought, and emotion. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like Scientology to me.
Yeah, I hear you, and I would personally agree. And I mean, I'm more than happy to throw Scientology into this ring. What I'm saying is, if we throw Scientology in, I'm not willing to grant Islam.
If you will grant Scientology, why would you not also grant Islam?
Because Islam is still religious in nature.
Because it's established religion.
It's not centralized power.
Well, that's fine. I'll let you, like I said in my opening, I'll say we can take Islam off the table. I almost didn't even include that in there because I figured we're going to spend all this time arguing if it's an established religion or not. So Aleph is not an established religion. You said I named a couple of deaths here or there. They've got 23 deaths from sarin bombings. They've got 6,800 injuries from sarin bombings. They've got 9 people injured from a car that drove through a city, and they performed multiple assassinations. It's like the Manson family, except Japanese times a million.
Again, so what we're looking at here, you're looking at the short-term destruction, right? Not the long-term indoctrination.
This was 50 years ago, and they're still active.
Again, even if they killed 100 people over 50 years, they're not indoctrinating men after men to be softer and more feminist. The reason why men are leaning over so easily is because we have men that have been indoctrinated with MKP. They go out there, they see other men, they tell more men to be soft and teach them about these skills, and it goes out there and it spreads like a wildfire. And then we have more men telling other men that you ought not just tell that man to shut the fuck up. You tell him, hey, sir, can you please be a little quieter? You're bothering my aura.
Yeah, I mean,
and is that the kind of men you want to walk around? Because those are the kind of men I see, and I live in California, and that's all the men. That's all the men in California.
Yeah, it's this hippie mentality about
and which comes
new
again.
age stuff.
And now let's break into it. So the
It's
people,
kinda
like,
just
this
new
is good.
age.
Yes, it's that hippie, and that new age thing stems from MKP. Now let's get into this. The original guy, I left him out because he's a really close family member of mine. So let's just call him Mr.
Rich Tosi.
No, let's call him McLean here.
The guys who founded it are Rich Tosi.
I'm not
and Bill
again.
Self.
I care less about who founded it. Do you know who the board members are? Are
Well,
they
you
the
just
board
said
members?
the original guy who founded it. So
I'm talking
I'll
about
say
the
his name if
I'm
you
talking
want.
about I'm talking about the board members right now.
Oh, okay. I don't
Are
know
they
the
board members? Okay, so let's get to the board members. Let's go to Mr. McLean, right? And Mr. McLean, not only is he a board member of MKP, but he is the board member of Burning Man. He's the lead ranger for Burning Man, right? He also does the Bohemian Grove. You can actually look this up, and he touts this on his profile. Right. He's also LinkedIn, #1 at Microsoft, head accounting and Azure. Right. And he also runs his own pilot or his own plane industry. So these are people that have massive influences into our society. And this isn't just one. The females that I displayed across the screen are also major influences. One of the men in that group is one of the lead members of Merrill Lynch. Do you know what Merrill Lynch is?
It's like a law firm.
There we go. One of the leading law firms in the world. And he went to Rikers. On top of it, we have other people from Morgan Stanley, CEO, board member, and leading cause. We have members of this. We have the leading woman of feminism. The woman that leads the movement is on the accounting board to MKP. The indoctrination starts here at MKP and it branches out. That's where it starts. And it's been starting since the 60s. I'm glad that you say since 1984 when MKP first started and became a little group. But this indoctrination started with the Jungian ideology when it was first brought into as an idea in the pillars. Not when it became established as a group. But when the group was starting as its movement in 1962, to be real. That's when Bill was originally writing these things and originally coming up with these plans of trying to get self-evident through Jungian ideology. That's when Mr. Tosi decided that he's going to start writing and diving into psychology and thinking about what is better. You want to know what their problem is that they created it more woke under their own guidelines. They're complaining about themselves. I'm sorry that the leaders are mad. Sometimes people that think they're gods don't get what they want at the end, because then at the end you realize you're not a god. But here's the real answer. The indoctrination runs deep. It continues to run, and they continue to bleed the money out of these people and keep them feeling like they are down, to continue feeling like this is your juice, this is your church, this is where you refuel, and then this is where you go back out in the world and tell more men to come back and get refilled here instead of church. And then you go to church and then tell them how good it is here too, and you can be all those other things.
So their danger is they prey on weak men and get them stuck in being weak instead of making them stronger.
It's not just that, but it's not just that though. They induct the indoctrination of antinatalism.
If I could just
Feminism?
make a clarification, so I think I get it, and maybe the audience maybe has this wonder in their mind, because I think now it sounds like the disagreement's more shifted from what constitutes as like a cult to like what constitutes the danger, right? So it seems like Avarice is emphasizing like some type of like covert psychological influence under like a legitimacy and scale.
Correct.
Where
So this group is
JS
going
is just real quick, and I think JS is emphasizing like a direct, measurable, like physical and criminal harm. Am I correct on both these framings here?
That's one of my metrics for danger,
Correct.
and then
Well,
the other is
but what I'm getting
what
at
would
here,
be
though-
more
spirits being led to hell.
Well, and what I'm
so
getting
what
here,
would be more dangerous there is the hidden
the-
influence or the visible violence, and why?
and what we're looking at here is my danger leads to more antinatalism. It tells men to go out and not have children, let them abort, go out and have children, just abort them because you're not ready for them. They physically they tell men abortion good. You can impregnate as many women and you can just have kids when you're ready. Go
But
and
the
abort
whole-
and kill all these children.
The whole
That's what they
world is
say.
telling people that. Universities are telling people that. The media is pushing that on people.
But they're pushing this on the men too. The men, they're telling the men that not only is this okay, but that's masculine to abort these children.
Yeah, it's gay and lame and
No.
it's not-
That
and it
was
is
more than
dangerous.
just gay. They want you to abort the children. They want you to do it.
Yeah. A lot of cults have these same, they use psychology. Scientology uses psychology. They all use psychology. They all use mental manipulation and controlling your thoughts. A lot of them will push the idea of antinatalism. Some of them, the leader is a polygynist who takes all the wives to himself, which is antinatalist because he's not, constantly making kids with all, they would make more kids if they had stayed with their
And then,
husband.
so I got a question for you. When you look out and you go outside, do you see more people that are influenced by the 764 or do you see more beta men?
Every kid that I see 764 could reach them because
How?
they're all on cell phone. They're all
That's not
given
true.
phones and iPads and stuff.
That's not true.
Yeah. Most
not
kids now, okay, not all, but most kids nowadays are given a phone or Roblox or Minecraft.
That's not true. Actually, Roblox has been going downhill right now. It's because of
Yeah,
all
you
the
know
stigma
why?
because of all the stigma
Yeah.
behind it.
Because
So
a
this-
bunch of
like,
PDFs and 764 members are recruiting
you're still
kids.
looking at short term.
That's
I'm
not
looking
short
at long
term.
term. Okay, abortions have been going a lot longer than Roblox.
Okay. Abortion was started by a feminist eugenics person, not a Mankind Project guy.
764 is literally a few hundred people max.
No.
Yes.
No, they had one Discord server with 20,000 members, and they have a lot of Discord servers. So there's
Okay.
764, there's 753, there's the murder kill party, there's the insane.
Show me this member list.
Okay, I'll find you the member list.
Yeah, I want to say I don't think that there because I've done extensive research. That was one of my main pivot points here on my research with the 7/6ers because you didn't even say they're indoctrinated. Like, the funny part is the actual kill shot with the 7/64s. You didn't even go down, which is even crazier. You went down this stupid. There's tons of them. No, there's not. They're decentralized. They're unorganized. This has been well documented and well known. I don't even know why you're not sitting on this. You didn't even bring up they're even affiliate of the 9 Angles, which I could even crush you there with being even more unorganized.
They're affiliated with a bunch of things. They're affiliated with a group called Cult, CVLT, from I think Sweden or Norway or something. Another Discord cult. There's a lot of them.
Listen, I don't see how you can even bring you have no evidence here for the 7/64. You're saying there's a bunch of members. There's no more than a few hundred. On top of it, I'm telling you again that short-term damage, being able to go on Roblox, opposed to the long-term.
Discord's going to end tomorrow?
Opposed to the long-term damage of these 80,000 men going out there yearly and indoctrinating more men to tell them to go abort people, just be gay. Let's go and let's rebirth and become new men and subvert the language of men and become soft. And here's the kicker, and here's the worst part about it. They primarily target white men. Because when you're targeting the white men, they want to get rid of us. They want to get rid of us.
They have a BIPOC men's
I just because they have some DEI and they welcome everybody does not mean where they're targeting. And there is even showing through the targeting group. If you would open up one of my pages, you can go to the CTS training page where we actually have the training on being a staff person. And it says there in red, aim for white, young, depressed men coming out of divorce, primarily military.
Yeah, they prey on vulnerable guys.
Again, so because those are the easiest ones, and then they're easier to indoctrinate and then go out there and send to be soldiers on to go create more indoctrination. That's the whole goal, is they're actually wanting you to go out there and evangelize for this. And no, the 76ers, how do I join them? Where's their evangelism? Where are they evangelizing their indoctrination here?
I mean, you just join the Discord group, but in order to join,
what I'm saying is that I think that Discord that you have is a fake.
Maybe it's been shut down by the FBI.
No, I think it's
this is all recent. This is all like new
I
stuff.
think it's a fake. I don't think they have a Discord group.
I don't have their Discord.
This is what I'm trying to say, because
I'm
they
not
don't
trying
have
to-
one.
I'm
They
not
don't
trying to be
have
on that
one
list.
because it's fake. What you saw was a fake Discord, fake numbers.
Everything I saw was fake.
Well, maybe not everything.
What's the
Listen,
hacker? Who's the
hold
hacker
on.
that goes on Sean Ryan?
Hold on.
and he,
Maybe not everything, but what I'm saying is that the Discord and the member size that you are conflating here is fake. And now let's go on to the deaths and everything else. Let's just say let's just say I grant a few hundred deaths, right? Because there's no public Discord of these people. Let's say I grant a few hundred deaths. That still has a small term number in the long term of men aborting these children.
It's been
And
around for
men-
5 years.
And let's say for 5 years,
In
how
5
many,
years,
how many
in
deaths
5
are
years,
there?
they've killed-
How many deaths?
I off the top of my head, I know of 3.
3.
Yeah, but there's many
3.
more. Like,
okay, now I can tell you
if
that
you
there's been,
look
I
into
can tell you,
764 arrests,
I can tell you that
there's
most
new ones every week.
I can tell you that most people in Mankind Project have aborted a baby.
Okay.
Is that
a lot?
so,
a lot
is
of
that-
women, many women just who aren't in cults abort babies.
Yeah, but this is expected until you're ready.
But I'm saying the world abortion is popular just in the world, period. Can you be a Christian and join the Mankind Project?
Depends on the Christian.
But you could be a Christian and join the Mankind Project.
I wouldn't see them as Christian. They would see themselves as Protestant.
Okay. What if you don't know it's a cult? You just think it's a men retreat and you're a good Orthodox Christian and you think I'm just going on a men's retreat and you go out there. They don't do anything crazy. They don't do the weird chicken beating circle naked.
That's not possible.
They do it at all of them?
At all of them. Every single one of them. It's part of the beginning. It's part of the rebirth. You have to go through rebirthing.
Oh my God. So you have to go through
What?
the birth canal. Yeah.
Yep.
They call it, what do you
Yeah.
crawl through a tunnel of men or something?
Naked men, 100 of them.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
You want-
super gay. Okay.
You want to crawl through 100 naked men? Ball sacks and
No.
all?
No.
You got to crawl through.
Okay. But
It got to be rebirth.
I
Then
totally
that's
lost
how
my
you
train
get
of
your
thought.
that's how you get your spirit animal name.
Okay, so I would
And
agree
then
you
guess
can't
what?
be a Christian in the Mankind Project.
So and this is what I'm trying to say. So you're sitting here saying that can you be Christian? I'm saying, well, Protestant, if you consider that. And then here's what they want you to do. This is on top of it. They actually tell you to go and do this. They tell you to go to your Protestant church and tell them that it's okay to be gay. Go be proud. You know what? On top of it, I want you to go tell women to be men. I want you to go tell them to make penises. I want them all to have penises. I want tranny men. All of them. And you know what? We're going to make a special group. GBTQ plus.
Yeah,
we're
they
going to
took
take
the
out the
L
L out.
So no
And we're going
lesbians.
to, yeah, so that all women can put a dick on.
But men with vaginas is fine.
Men with vaginas, good. Yeah, you're good because you're channeling your inner masculinity. We're going to subvert these words. Now we have I statements. These feminine words are now masculine. That's what they're doing. And that's what has been done. Even Andrew Wilson said himself, just in the extravaganza 3 days ago, when he said that I have a buddy who was in a cult I didn't even believe. But it's one that created the definition for toxic masculinity as we know it.
You're saying that they made up that term to throw at people.
Correct.
But not that they're toxically masculine. They're gay.
That's
feminine.
Correct. And that's how we use it. We're going to use these words like anger and aggression. These words aren't
and
masculine.
cry. Men should cry. Men should be vulnerable. But
Correct.
there's a lot
and we're
of
gonna
groups
push
doing
that.
this.
Hold on, but these groups, I have all of these groups you're talking are the branches of MKP. The people that start these other groups usually have a root to MKP.
And then it's no longer centralized.
Again, it is
just like
centralized.
764. 764 has a bunch of offshoots now.
Again, it is centralized because those leaders still respond to the
Seven-Day Adventists. Seventh-day Adventists have some of the most dangerous cult offshoots.
Those leaders still respond to the elders of MKP, which is centralized.
Okay. All right. So it's leading men toward hell. So it has the hell maxing metric there, the spiritual danger.
Correct.
I see that, and the cultural danger. I see that. But as far as physical danger, as far as people being hurt and killed and children being
I don't think there's anything more harmful than wanting to rid the world of women and let them and having the women turn to men, and then if they ever have sex, abort those babies.
Okay,
because men don't have babies.
But I could attribute that to the occultic roots of feminism, the feminism.
But that's not.
cult.
It's the occultic root of Jungism. How is feminism wanting to turn women to men physically? They want you to put a dick on these women.
But you're saying it's the feminist women who are turning these men.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that all feminists want to put dicks on? They want dicks? All feminists?
They're anti-natalist.
Okay,
They're lesbian.
So wait, no. I'm saying all feminists. They want dicks on. They want to put dicks on.
They wear strap-ons.
Some of them might, but you say all of them. Do they all want dicks on?
They would go to protest. They were smacking Samantha Hernandez in the face with dildos.
Again, just because they have dildos, do they want to physically remove their vagina and put a dick on?
Some of them.
Some of them, but all of them.
That's being taught to kids through schools.
Hold on. All of MKP wants you to put dicks on some women.
Okay, hold on. In your opening, you were washing dishes. You look like a nice husband wife. Is that
was well planned out skit, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the camera, you're like, "Bitch, get me some coffee." Is that a front when you're off the camera? Are you the wife of the house?
Fuck no, that was a skit. It was called, doing a clip.
And so you turned out successfully. You got a beautiful wife. You got a child. You're a man.
Again, because I found this thing. It was outside of the Jungian. It was called Eric Adler. It was another ideology. And then I found this guy named Andrew Wilson, right?
Okay, so you cult hopped till you found orthodoxy?
I didn't cult hop, right? I broke out of a cult, which is completely different. And it doesn't mean that just because you're taking my hyperbole, I'm glad that you want to try to bring my experiences here. I didn't try to bring any of my
You put yourself in your opening washing dishes.
I didn't bring any of my experiences into here. All right. You're the one that wanted to try to bring my experiences and my trauma into this. I've yet to bring this to the board. I've only contended with what here is dangerous.
I want to know.
Again, I'm glad you want to know, but right here I'm contending with what is dangerous. And what is dangerous is the ideology that we ought to abort babies, put dicks on all women, and then subvert what is masculine to feministic words, using feministic hyperbole here to correlate so you understand what I mean. Not saying that they are feminisms, they're feministic words in order to demasculate all the men.
Yeah.
So that everybody feels equal.
Well, my point is you turned out really well and you went through the Mankind Project and you said you broke out. The real dangerous cults, you don't break out. Well, you leave dead.
See, here's the difference, though, because sometimes in cults, there is always a guy that they like to call the fixer or the guy that fixes things or does things that goes against cult doctrine. All right. And one of those guys just happens to be in front of you. And then when he got caught doing some of those things, he went to court, if you want, and then court sent him to the military, right? And after that, real men showed him what real men are like. All right, that's called breaking away.
What outnumbers what? The military or the Mankind Project?
Again, if you want to say that the military is the largest cult, which is a joke.
I'm not saying the military is a cult, but I'm saying if there's this larger group of influential men that makes men act like men, then the Mankind Project is not so dangerous. It's,
if I joined the military today in 2025, I would have went through with flying colors and never continue to be indoctrinated with the MKP. Thank you to MKP's indoctrination into the military and gays.
Because the military has been soft. Okay.
Yep. So I think I'll do just fine now.
But all this stuff, abortion.
Wait, no. Wait, do you think the military doesn't allow gays in there now?
I think they're tightening up since Trump came back.
Oh, maybe since Trump came back. But is it not like super soft? Were they not doing like little pansy dances?
Yeah, but I would blame that on Democrat
did you not
ideology.
Did you not see an entire Air Force squadron in dresses on top of an F-22 dancing?
Yeah, but my point is that
do you think that would have ever been done when I was in the military?
These dangerous ideologies like antinatalism, transgenderism, LGBTQ, feminism, these all have deeper roots that go back farther, and Mankind Project just borrowed those. So
no, they don't. Mankind Project didn't borrow any ideology or any thing from some cult. It took actual psychology or ideology from a psychologist, just like any other kind of cult would do, just like the Sannyasins or anything like that. They take some psychologist or some kind of philosopher, right? And they take those ideologies and they start building a foundation. And that's what MKP did. But they based it off Jungian ideology. It's not my fact that also feminism built their base off the same ideology.
Yeah, the roots are the same.
Again, which is Jungian ideology. So what happens here is men here, and here's why I'm saying it's bad. Because what you're saying here is, well, it's just feminism. Well, no, feminism targets women. MKP targets the men. Men actually don't like feminism. Most men aren't pro-feminism.
Women form consensus.
Hold on. Until you become a pro-MKP, and now you're pro-feminism.
Women form consensus. That's why we got women the vote, is because there's 51% women, 49% men, generally all throughout history.
And we got those.
Guys will say happy wife, happy life, and they'll go on with what the woman says.
And
that's
we got
how they
those,
form consensus.
And we got those. What we got those women to vote has nothing to do with a cult at all. That's a political.
What? Pick up that book you just held up earlier.
My book.
Yeah, the one signed by Rachel. What's that book called?
What?
Yeah, what's that book called? Occult Feminism.
I hear you.
And it talks about the cultic roots of feminism and how these women were like witches and stuff.
Again, did you actually read that? Did you read that book? Hold on, did you read that book?
No.
Okay,
but I know what it's about.
Okay, so go ahead. Tell me what it's about.
It's about the occultic roots of feminism.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've heard Rachel do tons of interviews and talk about it.
Okay, sir, are you sure? Are you sure that it wasn't talking about how they use cult-like behaviors to subvert? And
no,
how hold on, and how it wasn't necessarily that it was witchcraft, but it was more women doing abortions and subverting
that was a blood ritual. That's a human sacrifice. That's some pagan stuff.
That's not technically witchcraft. To do an abortion could have been out of desperation or other things. You're literally
the guys
subverting
who died.
What you're literally subverting the book of the book. The book is not even to say that it was a cult. It was actually a cult. This is something that targets feminists here, women. What we're doing is targeting the men.
Feminism.
This is targeting the men, right? So what you're doing here is you're moving the bar to women.
Too.
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh, yeah?
what I'm saying is that I'm saying that occult feminism is more dangerous than.
Okay,
the
so where's
Mankind
feminism?
Project.
Where's men in feminism? Like,
Your
where's
whole
it? Where's
argument was that-
where is men in feminism? Where is it? Where's the men? Where is it in the definition?
Their whole thing is about how men are the oppressor. It's Marxism. It's the oppressor versus the oppressed. Men are the
Good,
oppressor.
so they're not going to be involving men into feminism, correct?
If men are the oppressors, then we're the problem. We're the focus. They have to
got
fix
it.
the
So they're
problem.
not going to be involving men as the oppressors. They're going to be using us as just tools. Opposed, so that what they do is they take.
And they'll infiltrate groups like the Mankind Project so that they can feminize the men. So
Again-
feminism is the most dangerous cult.
Again, what we're saying here is moving into the ideology, and the ideology here of feminism, right, is also in the MKP, but targeting the men, right? It's the equal hand in hand. It's like saying if there was a trifecta, right, of something that was happening at the same time in the same movement, because you can even see back in the day where the same psychology, the Sannyasins, which is the same people that came up with what we have the doctrine today. I'm not talking about just what we had the old doctrine, not the original doctrine from Tossi, but I'm talking about the 1993 doctrine of MKP that we know of today, which was written completely by separate people, which was written by a board of people, which had sannyasins in it. All of that was money that was fed into feminism from groups that led into MKP. So these men are the ones that are feeding into it.
I don't know. I think you got it backwards.
No, listen, these men are the ones that are trying to decentralize it here. It's these men, or women wouldn't have the power. These are the groups that are giving the women power, and that's what the problem is. Women wouldn't have this power or any force if they didn't have the Mankind Project.
Women were taking over, and feminism was happening and growing in America decades before the Mankind Project was started.
I agree that it was starting decades before the Mankind Project, because there was smaller sects that became the Mankind Project today. That's like you're
So the larger
hold on,
would be a bigger problem, a more dangerous cult.
No, that's not the larger root. The ideology is still Jungian ideology. The larger root is that the men's group, the MKP, are still funding the women's group and still using the force. That's the problem. We still give them the force. And since we give them the force, we're the most dangerous cult.
Okay, well, this whole time you've kind of been dodging a left. So, as far as physical danger, most people died, most people injured. Aleph takes the cake. They've done 2 sarin gas attacks. They've killed more than 23 people, assassinated people.
Okay, so that's more than 1,000 abortions.
Well, they're probably committing abortions too. They're Japanese. They have.
You don't know that. Actually, I would consider abortions not doing abortions.
In Japan, they throw their babies in dumpsters.
Again, just because some do, and that's a very low number, doesn't mean that they don't have a strict count on that. I think that's you being extremely fallacious in numbers there.
You're being kind of fallacious in your numbers if you say abortion. Men aren't even doing abortion. Men can't even do an abortion.
Again,
they
but
can
if we're the
convince
ones,
a woman to get an abortion.
If
but
we're the
woman
ones,
her body, her choice.
If we're the ones funding it and pushing
what
the
are you
ideologies,
bringing up abortions for?
If we're the ones funding it and pushing the ideology, because we're the keepers of the force. You don't understand this. Men have the force. Women don't.
Scientology coerces its members to get abortions too. They're anti-natalist. Leah Remini has talked about this.
Yeah.
And we don't know how many people they kill because they could just kill people and get away with it because they run whole cities.
I doubt that they run whole cities. I don't.
They run Clearwater. They've bought almost all the land in Clearwater. They run the government in Clearwater. They run the streets in Clearwater.
So a town. So does MKP. They own a
Clearwater
town
is a pretty big city.
Okay, well then MKP owns Bellingham, Washington.
Okay, a town.
I've
never heard of Bellingham, Washington, but I've heard of San Francisco and Clearwater, Florida.
Again, I'm glad you've heard of Clearwater. I haven't heard of Clearwater for.
They run a couple little encampments up in the mountains.
Bellingham, Washington is an entire college town where they indoctrinate more children from the college. Most of the teachers there are MKP.
Who's your
members.
Star Force? Like you had the guy from Prison Break. Is he a Mankind Project person, or was he just thrown in the video
No.
for the memes?
No, he's MKP.
So
James or Wentworth Miller.
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gay. I did not know he's gay.
Well, now you do.
No, he's gay. But anyway,
Welcome to MKP.
but he didn't go up there and say I'm a member of MKP. Whereas Tom
He
Cruise,
did. He literally you didn't see it in the clip. It was right before you said you're joining the cult. Right when the MKP logo was up, that was him talking.
and that's from their website.
That was
Or
literally
they're
his
promoting.
That was
they're
yeah.
promoting him as like
Yeah, that was the MKP testimonial.
okay, because that would be something I would qualify as added danger.
Yeah, you can
literally
literally turn to MKP homepage right now. Go to testimonial. He's the first one that comes up.
Okay, but he's
And then-
not Tom Cruise. He's not.
And,
John
hold
Travolta.
on. And then the
He's not
second one,
Kirstie Alley.
the second one is this new black guy. I don't know his name. Eka something. He's
Idris
Star
Elba?
Power. He does, and he did a Netflix with a show with it on Netflix.
Okay, so it's gaining some traction and it's being pushed out. That's something that I would is how.
Well, hold on. Let's not just say. Let's just
how
say it's
public it is.
gaining. Hold on. Let's not just say that it's gaining some traction, right?
Because if it's so secretive that I never heard of it, how dangerous! I never.
Well, hold on.
nobody heard of
Let's
this
not-
until you brought it up.
let's not say it's not gaining some traction, right?
No, I'm saying it is.
Hold on, you do know. Let's not say like it's just me. You do know, and this is clear. I don't even have to bring this up. We can just bring up the main webpage. It's featured in Men's Journal, New York Times, NPR, Sunday Morning, Independent, Men's Health, Vice, Today, Sunday's Time, GQ, Psychologies, TED Talks, TEDx, BuzzFeed, The Guardian, Forbes, Newstate, Tribunal,
Okay,
The
okay.
Good Man Project, The New Republic, The Daily Courier, Out, Blade, ABC
That's
News,
fine.
Metro Times.
Magazines that nobody reads. None of us
Hold on.
heard of Mankind Project before you brought it up.
Well, just because you're into hard right wing politics doesn't mean that like a lot of people aren't seeing this. ABC News is a pretty big thing, right? So, and it being featured on ABC's News is a pretty big deal.
Okay, but we've all heard of Seven-Day Adventists, Scientologists.
I actually didn't hear about 7-Day
Not
Adventists.
even a
until
little
you were
bit.
here.
If you type in
And
most
just so we're
dangerous
clear,
cult,
I didn't
we've
even know
all-
what
yeah.
the 764 were until I started doing research for this.
Yeah,
so
I just found out about them.
yeah, so just so we're clear, so the ones that even the one that you consider was the most dangerous, you just found out about too. So here's the thing: is that the most dangerous actually ends up being some of the most secretive, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that we know about Scientology would actually, to me, would be in its wake the way it was presented and came out as volatile as it didn't do it as an injustice, as MKP coming out and flourishing like a flower while it's up at the middle of an award ceremony and everybody's clapping about how amazing MKP was for this guy's health, right? So there's a big difference when people are going out there and chastising Scientology. You turn and even to the point where, and me and you've done this discussion. Hold on,
That's recent.
where I talk highly of Tom Cruise because you know I do, and people go, "But he's the Scientologist." Immediately, it met with hate. Opposed to Mankind Project, where if I was to say, "Hey, have you heard of the Mankind Project?" Immediately, like, no, tell me about it. I could subvert you however I want.
Okay, that's the lifespan of the cult. Scientology has been around a lot longer than
No,
MKP.
but it's not the lifespan. The code, What do you mean?
Scientology
Wait, how
was
long is
rapidly-
when did Scientology start?
1957 or 52.
Okay, and
57,
MKP
I
was
think.
1962. So what are we talking here?
1984.
1962 wasn't established till 1984. 1962 was the retreat.
Okay, but I'm saying when it starts, a lot of times they're cheered on. A lot of times people are like, "This is amazing. This is great."
No
These
one
people are
cheered
so
on. Who
nice
cheered
and
on
friendly."
Scientology?
And it grows rapidly.
Who cheered on Scientology?
As it was growing?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. Aaron Cairo from Braille Skateboarding is the leader of San Francisco.
Okay. So guys, immediately when they came out, this is true. and said they were part of that, they were immediately chastised,
No, but
especially
it
through
grew.
the Christian people.
It
did
grew
gr-
and it gained attention.
It grew through them. It grew through them financially pressing. It didn't grow through their popularity.
Then people found out how dangerous it was because it got so popular.
Again,
and then they started
it
exposing it. And
it
now
got
it's
popular.
membership is
It got
bigger.
popular through them pushing money
Well,
through the
maybe-
system because Tom Cruise is popular. It
maybe
didn't
in
get popular
20
because it
years-
says that it fixed something.
Maybe in 20 years, once Mankind Project gets a little more dangerous, people will start exposing it,
That's
and then
not.
it'll fall off.
Listen, how is you say that's any
But
more
it's not
dangerous?
there
It's not
yet.
less. What are you talking about? How is it
Like,
not
once
there when
they-
they're already promoting these
Once
things?
they do a mass
it's already
suicide, or
flourishing.
once they bomb a subway station,
But that's
or do a
not part.
terrorist
Listen, that's
attack, or
completely
start
different. You're
abusing
looking
and
at
selling
short term.
children.
You're looking at short term, and you're not looking at the long term
When they start
effects of what happens
trafficking
here.
children.
What you're saying is going to be a mass suicide when that's not even part of the ideology. You're fucking crazy.
All right. That is wraps up the open hour back and forth. All right. Excellent exchange from both sides tonight. So JS, I know you usually have a limited time, so I don't know if you want, because like I usually ask if you guys want an extra 30 minutes, keeping in mind we still have the Q&A, but I know you usually have time
Yeah.
a certain amount of time. So did you want another 30 minutes of open floor, or you want to get into closings?
No, it usually takes us like 30 minutes to get through the question, and then that'll give me like 20 minutes to go on the panel. We'll probably
Fair
go
enough.
back and forth more in the questions and stuff.
Fair enough. All right. So that's going to wrap up the open floor back and forth. Again, excellent exchange from both sides tonight. All right, we're going to enter to the final phase, the closing statements. A quick reminder to the live chat, the Q&A is already up there for you guys. So if you got questions for either debater, make sure you drop them in now. Remember, super chats, Rumble Rants, PayPal, Cash Apps, these will take priority. And if they fill up the whole 30 minutes, we may not get to the free ones. So if there's something you really want guaranteed to be asked, send it through one of those priority options. But it looks like we don't have too many tonight, so I think you can get your questions in there as well. With that said, let's move into closing. Each debater gets 5 minutes to make their final case. We're going to be starting with Avarice. So Avarice, whenever you're ready for your closing statement, I will start the timer up with your voice.
So we can see that my opponent is just talking about all these short term destructive behaviors, mass suiciding, small deaths, doxing, unorganized and decentralized power. None of these things that really have long term effects into our society. And this is what's so scary about MKP, is that people don't even think it's bad. They're just like, you know what? I actually think we're going to help people. We're actually going to make these guys feel better, or it's not even that bad. And then more people join it and they think it's okay. And they go on to create more demasculine men that go on to want to create this antinatalist behavior, and they want to just allow people to remove the females from the society, because a world without females is the best society. So what we're going to do is we're going to invest all of the money that you invest into MKP. We're going to move it into male cloning, male birthing, and so men can be able to have children. And then we no longer have to worry about women. And this is the world that we are going to live in. I'm glad that JS wants to live in a world where the only source of sex he's going to get is putting his dick in another man's ass. But that's not the world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where there's patriarchy and a nuclear family and happy homes with Christian ethics. And I don't want people aborting babies. I don't want this ideology and this left-wing terroristic behavior in my society. And this is what this cult is doing. It's pushing the ideology that we should be soft men that believe in science and eugenic behavior, and we're going to be the best men we could be, and we could do everything to the point where we can even change ourselves to give birth to children. And this is what JS's future will hold, because he doesn't see this as dangerous. He doesn't see that a cult that can go under the radar for so long and still to this day where nobody knows about it. And then when even people like Andrew Wilson come out and say, this is bad, they're like, well, hold on, Chief. It's not that bad. And then when they actually do their own deep diving and they do their own 7-hour debate prep, they admit to themselves that they possibly are going to lose this debate because they don't even know where to go with it. It's so crazy, and there's so many angles from this to Colt that they don't even know where to start. The wick was lit at both ends from this cult, and they're not stopping. And that's the scary part. The scary part is that they're going to change this whole society, and Western civilization is going to be the taker and the benefactor of its destruction. And JS is just going to sit back and watch while he's more afraid of a decentralized, unorganized 764 cult of a dude that's rotting in jail and has no power, hasn't even contacted his own group for over 10 years, and has no doctrine or real way to even get there. MKP is telling you to sign up on the front page. JS did it himself. He's ready to start joining the drum circle right off the get-go. Talk about indoctrination. Being able to sign up and join a drum circle just like that. And my opponent did so live on stream to join and find out what it was. And he too would have been a potential victim of the Mankind Project. And today I'm glad I got to give you some information, JS, because I didn't want you to fall into that trap. I didn't want you to become a victim. And I'm glad that I was able to bring some information your way so that you don't have to go to that drum circle and you don't have to fall victim to the most dangerous cult out there. And I hope that you don't go to that integrated drum circle, because I don't want to see you going backwards naked in the woods. That would make me sad.
Thank you for that closing statement. And with that, we're going to hand the mic over to JS. JS, whenever you're ready for your closing statement, I will start the timer up with your voice.
All right. First off, I do see it as dangerous. I acknowledge. Actually, first off, let's start with thank you, Easy, for hosting this debate. This was great. Thank you, Avarice, for coming on here. I think this is, I don't know if this is Avarice's first formal debate. He did all right. He did all right. Anyway, I do see it as dangerous. I recognize the dangers of this. I said I acknowledge it is dangerous. It targets vulnerable men and tells them to be weak and vulnerable. And I've seen other groups that do the same thing. And you'll say maybe they're offshoots. I don't know. But yeah, this is a problem. It's a big problem. But I think what you kind of conceded to throughout the debate, what you said throughout the whole debate, is that it has more dangerous cultish roots. You said Jungianism had cultism when it was formed. You said feminism has cultism in its origins. All of this stuff. I mean, I could say the most dangerous cult is Satanism, because all of this is Satanism. 764 is a Satanist cult. It was started, they use satanic symbols, they do blood scribing, they get members to hurt themselves and then rub blood on the walls, pentagrams and stuff like that. It's a Satanist cult. All of these cults have roots in, I would say, Satanism, because Satan is the real one putting all this together. But Mankind Project is too early in its life cycle. It's very secretive and it's growing rapidly. It's gaining popularity. Eventually, it'll pop off and more people will know about it. Maybe it'll become a household name like Scientology. And then somebody will do an expose on it, and then it'll start to lose popularity. And people say, that's crazy. That's dumb. You're an idiot if you join that. But for now, while they're young in their life,
their secret. So was Scientology at first. Scientology is still getting away with stuff because they can't even find Jordan Miscavige's wife or David Miscavige's wife. Nobody's seen her in 20 years. She's just missing. And these cults, they move people around, they kidnap kids, they kill people and get away with it because they own the property, they hide the bodies. What are your claims to danger or violence? You say 3 guys died on the adventure camp, allegedly. You say you have the stories. And then there was wrongful death cases from England for 3 guys who commit suicide after they left Mankind Project. But with the type of people that they target, it's likely that those guys would have done that anyway. They target weak, vulnerable, mentally ill, substance addicted men. So a lot of these guys are going to off themselves anyway. I could not find anything of Mankind Project organizing a suicide circle, trafficking children, having children wives, which a lot of these cults like the FLDS, the 12 Tribes, the Family International, they take child bribes. They abuse children. 764 is sharing CSAM and CP and stuff and sextorting young girls. So there's a lot more physical harm being done. All of these groups have the spiritual harm. They're all pulling people away from God and pulling people away from heaven and leading them down dark paths. But as far as physical harms, Mankind Project is nowhere near the top. You can say abortion, but I'm going to blame that on feminism. Like there's deeper, darker roots and more dangerous cults at the root of Mankind Project. And I think when you say short term, I think you're wrong about that. These online cults are the future. The 7M TikTok cult, these are taking young girls, putting them in a house, making them rich and viral and famous for doing TikTok dances, fully clothed, but these are underage girls, runaways from home, living in a mansion, and the owner of the house is making millions of dollars, like the Bop House, this new online TikTok cultish mentality. That's dangerous, and that's only going to grow and get worse. 764 is only growing and spreading out and getting worse. It is organized. It may be decentralized, but it is organized. They have manuals, they have instruction books, they have a protocol, they have levels, they have rankings. You can move up the rankings, all of that stuff. So it is organized. As far as antinatalism, well, doomsday cults where they all kill each other, that's pretty antinatalism because they can't have kids anymore once they're dead. And Scientology is antinatalist. So there's many bigger, more influential, more dangerous, deadly, more members, more people going to hell in a lot of these cults than the Mankind Project. I'm not saying it's not dangerous. I understand it's evil, it's dangerous, it's bad, but it's not the most dangerous cult. That's it.
All right. Thank you.
I still think you have no facts on the 7/6s. Just so you know, you have no facts on that. It's unorganized beyond belief.
Thank you for that closing statement. That is going to conclude the closing statement. Great work for both debaters tonight. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you guys like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and so you don't miss any of the debates we host here on Swords of Reasons. We run all kinds of matchups. Good political, cultural, social issues, philosophy, video games, movies, anywhere there's a conversation worth clashing over, we bring it into the arena. So don't forget also to subscribe to tonight's debaters. Okay, their links are in the description. Make sure you guys all go show them support for stepping into the arena and sharpening their arguments for us all tonight. So before we get into the official 30-minute Q&A, I always like to ask a question or two to each side based on arguments I heard, things I maybe deserve another pass, stuff like this. And when we get through those questions, we'll get to the official 30-minute Q&A.
Ask him first. I'm going to run to the bathroom like 20 seconds.
Okay. No problem. So for the first question, for you, Albert,
if he runs back and Juicy comes back, I swear to God.
If another cult, because this was what was brought up from JS tonight a lot, is like if another cult commits more documented violence and like death and stuff, what is the standard that you're saying makes MKP more dangerous
Yeah.
overall?
Yeah, so I think that there's what we're doing is we're kind of conflating what kind of harm he's talking about right there. That's just like immediate harm. That's the short term. Like let's say so like there was the death of like 100 people, 200 people. Let's just grant 1,000. I still don't think that is a greater death than let's just say the amount of abortions or removal of the female race. Right? I don't think that those like the removal of the female in total would be more destructive, and that's what they aim to do, right? It's just to kind of embed you with a group of men. You stick to men, fuck women, and we're gonna put all of our financial power into science projects and things to make it so that men are the sole people on this planet, whether it be housewives, birthing, etc. So, and if we have to strap some fake dicks on chicks and call them men, we're gonna.
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, I had asked him if another cult commits more documented violence and like death and stuff like that, what standards makes MKP more dangerous overall?
Yeah. And that was something when we were doing the research, I can't find any of I tried to find any crimes. They have three wrongful death charges from
there's
guys
a few.
that.
So, you're missing a few, right? So you're also left out one of the leaders, right? The third leader for a reason, right?
I don't know. That's the only two names that that I
you
found.
left out you left out the third leader for a reason. Why? Because they both committed a double suicide, him and his gay partner, right? So you forgot that one. That's
But all this stuff is going to be.
That's documented, right? Not to mention, you also left out Michael Skinto, 29-year-old participant, died by suicide July 2005, 2 weeks after attending the retreat. So you got that.
So 2
right?
weeks after they left the retreat, they offed themselves. But these are already vulnerable guys who are
again
on that road anyway. That's why they
I-
go to the Mankind Project, because they're going.
No,
they're
I
down-
hear
they're going
I
down
hear
that
what
road
you're
anyway.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that the idea isn't really to commit suicide, right? It's to change the ideology so that men don't want to even have or want to be involved in baby making or want to be involved with females whatsoever.
Yeah,
right.
But at least if you're still
How-
alive, then
No,
you have a
that's-
chance.
They're not alive.
You have a
They're-
chance
they're,
to
They're
recover
not
from
alive.
that.
They're literally they literally encourage vasectomy, putting dicks on chicks. That's
Vasectomy is
encouraged.
reversible.
Okay.
They could go through
So-
the stage and go ahead.
I was just going to say this kind of leads to my next question for you, Avarice, is like, how do you determine when like cultural influence crosses the line from like a normal social change? into
Yeah. So
something
here's
that's,
where
like,
when it's
genuinely
the
dangerous?
when it's genuinely dangerous is when it actually takes control of the people that control the force, right? And that's the issue, right? This is taking control of all men, right? Not women. We control the force. The women would not have any power or feminism or anything if we men were being indoctrinated by things like the MKP. And MKP is the people that fund those things that for women, right? All the money from MKP go to other feministic like behaviors, their removal kind of perspective, going into like being able to have men birth children, right? This is something that they actively try to look into, right? And these are the things that we need to look out for, and those are what dangerous when we start creating this world of soft men where we give in to everybody and we use soft words and we no longer actually have what we call masculine power, and we subvert it for excuses and I statements.
Yeah, that's dangerous. But if I give an example of a cult where 100% of the membership offed itself,
then it has a 100% death rate. That's more dangerous than the Mankind Project.
Okay, but if it's 100% death rate of 100,
Then it
people,
wouldn't still
that's
be
less
active.
Effective. That's less effective, and it, yeah, again, no longer active.
Right. But what happens is people see this. There's a lot of sick people out there.
Again, what you're
and
doing
then
is copycat has no
they
intention
become
to do an
copycats
established,
or-
centralized power here.
Like Aleph was originally called Am Shinrikyo, but that guy went to prison. His son now runs Aleph. So they changed the name because you're not allowed to be a member of Am Shinrikyo anymore. They call it Aleph. They're being monitored by the Japanese government, and they've missed reporting on their membership 5 times, which means they're secretly growing and they're not telling.
Again, most cults don't tell. Most cults don't tell the size. But again, when you talk about size here, it is important to do the ones that they can actually report, because that is something to be scared of, right? And if you're sending just alone 80,000 men out to subvert more men and say that it's okay to be soft and we ought to do these things, and primarily here's the big part, which is more dangerous to me than anything else, you're primarily targeting white Christian men to subvert that the most. That's what's more dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
dangerous,
this kind of leads to my question for JS, my first one. Is like, can an organization become more dangerous specifically because of the like appearance of social legitimacy, and it avoids like a public scrutiny?
Yeah, I think, and that's why I was talking about the life cycle of the cult. Eventually, if they get big enough, their message is always like self-help. It's like, oh, this is good. You're going to be free. You're going to feel better. So it looks nice and it looks appealing and it grows rapidly because people want that life. And then it gains popularity in the culture. So it gains more membership and it grows and grows. But usually what eventually happens is there's a breaking point where people expose it. That's what happened to Scientology. Scientology's numbers have been dropping like crazy because of the internet, because people are coming out and exposing it on the internet. So yeah, when it can be more dangerous to society if it's more popular in society.
All right. Oh, did I ever step away there?
Yeah.
Oh, I still hear him. Is there something you wanted to say to that, Avers?
No, I'm gonna just say, like, you could say that Scientology is like growing because of the internet, but here's the issue: is that MKP is growing, not going down because of the internet; it's going up because of the internet. Now
because they haven't done anything crazy evil yet.
What are you talking about? How is that? How
they've
is
been
not,
subversive?
Which is the most evil part? They are subverting the force users of America.
Okay.
That's the worst thing you could do.
All right. So then my second question for you, JS, is are like these like physical like crimes and like, you know, the deaths, the exploitation, stuff like this, are these like, would you say these are the only or most meaningful metric of danger, or can the long-term psychological influence be like a rival to that harm?
Both are bad, but I'm not gonna say, well, it's the men's fault for falling into this cult, but I put more accountability on a man's shoulders. Like, if you went through that cult, that's kind of, you're a dumbass and you're weak. But if a child is being exploited, if they're hurting and marrying and doing essaying and doing weird stuff with kids, and kids are dying.
Okay, so the kids that are getting naked at the
and you
weekend,
could say abortion, but
wait, so the kids that are getting naked,
abortion.
the kids that are getting naked at the weekend, they don't count.
See, I can't verify that.
Wait, the kids that are getting naked at the weekend, they don't count?
I didn't find anything that said they were doing stuff with kids there.
Well, that's because you sign an NDA before you get
even
there,
the hit
correct?
pieces.
Hold on.
Even the hit pieces on them don't say that.
That's because you sign an NDA before you get there.
Okay, but even with the NDA, there are hit pieces written on
Again,
them, and
and
then
the hit pieces
the leader
still-
addresses the hit
and
piece.
do those hit pieces still not skirt around the NDA?
The hit pieces say, "Here's all the things they do," and then the leader comes out
but
and
hold on.
addresses all those claims.
Hold on. I get which one you're talking about. All right. And you're talking about the one that happened in 2006. All right.
I don't know. I read it on my stream.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. FYI.
I think it was in GQ or Rolling Stone.
I hear
So when you were
what-
going through
again,
that list of where
I
it was
hear
featured, how
what
many of
you're
those
ta-
were hit pieces?
Again, this is what we're trying to say is that it's still those pieces that guy was talking about still skirted the line on the NDA.
Okay, but yeah, so there's no way I can verify that they have kids at these things.
Okay, so here's the real kicker. I grew up in it.
But all
So
the
let's
stuff
go-
I
hold on.
said, you can verify.
I grew up in it.
even if I don't
So
have it
hold
on
on.
hand.
I grew up in it. So how did 16-year-old me have to get naked in front of a bunch of men in a circle and have to do some drum circles in front of 60, 70-year-old men? Is that okay? Are those is I as a children exposed okay?
No.
So they are exposing children then.
But now I do have to, and this is what we're saying is going to happen. I do have to argue against your lived experience, and I don't want to downplay. It sounds horrible.
Again, I'm not saying that my lived experience was bad. I'm saying that as a child, children ought not get naked in front of other men.
I agree. That's bad.
And so when you're doing the rebirthing ceremony with 16-year-old children and 17-year-old children and putting your dick up against them, I consider that bad.
Okay, but when I see a girl from 12 Tribes who's missing her hand because it went into a meat grinder and they didn't take her to the hospital, boys who can't walk anymore because a tractor fell on their legs and they didn't take them to the hospital, and then these kids can't talk because they've been isolated because they tried to run away when they were 14, and then they get locked in Alaska.
Again, one ideology that's saying that people up there would say is bad, but when our ideology is spreading and we're saying this is okay because these 16 and 17-year-old boys, they're not actually doing something bad. They're going through a rite of passage to become a man. And then the government, which has come in to see this, goes, you know what this is actually a ritual for them to become men. We see this as a good thing. And then they say, well, actually, this is a good thing. And they promote it like on Oprah. I see this as a bad thing.
It is bad.
So you can't say that they don't have this kind of pull with the celebrities either, because with celebrities, the female celebrities are saying, hey, men, go to MKP. Oprah actually gave MKP part of an island in Hawaii to use as a retreat to indoctrinate men.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
what do you mean? Go look at the address to where the Hawaiian retreat is, and go look at what island Oprah owns.
All right, so that is going to be my question. So we're going to get into the official Q&A. Chat, get your questions in. Super chats, PayPals, Rumble rants, Cash Apps. These get priority, and then we'll get over to the Q&A there in the chat. So let's start this timer up. Leah Bobia comes in at the start with $2. Says, "Let's get this started, y'all." Thank you, Leah Bobia. I appreciate that big time. Wicked Wally for $5 says, "For 2 hours in the future." Well, boys, we've heard some interesting things. So with all that being said, why is Islam still the worst cult?
Avarice says it's a real religion.
No, I'm just saying it's recognized as a religion.
I recognize it as a cult.
I recognize it as a heretical religion practice.
It's a charismatic prophet who went off alone, says he saw an Angel in the mountains, came back, started a group, and it grew. And it splintered off, just like
there's no living central authority.
There's no living central authority of Islam?
Yep.
We never said that in the definition.
I didn't
Either
have
of
to.
either of
I'm
our
just saying,
not your
there isn't
definition
one.
or my definition.
There
We
still
didn't say
isn't one.
centralized
There's no
power.
living. There's no.
I even
I've
said
been
in my
I've been talking
opening-
about centralized power this whole time. There's no living central authority.
No, you gave yours criteria.
I've been
for
talking
cult
about
and
centralized power the whole time.
I know. I don't know why, because we've both agreed that that's not a condition of a cult.
Again, but they still have no living authority.
I think there's a highest Muslim guy. I don't know.
Okay, oh wait, there is. So the Iranian Muslim guy gets along with the Pakistani
Probably-
Muslim guy.
No, maybe each.
Wait. So those two Muslims get along. What about the
Sunnis-
Shiites?
The Sunnis and the Shiites. Yeah.
Yeah.
They might each have a different leader, but that's the
No.
splintering.
But again, no. Those are the same.
You
there.
counted the spirit circles as a branch off of MKP.
No,
to show
I
the
said
dangers of
I
MKP.
said
So
I said
can
they
use this-
represent. I said they represent. They go off to do that. They don't fight. But what we're trying to say here is
They
that
branch
the
off
wait, hold on.
eventually.
Again, I say, but they still control the centralized power. When those women and the other splinter cells still go back and listen to the elders, like I said, of MKP, unlike the Shiites and the Sunnis or whatever, where they don't listen to each other at all.
Islam is the worst cult.
Yeah, see, you can't even fight that. It's a
3
religion.
billion.
All right. Next comes in from I Am the Original Vintage. Where can I sign up to the Avarice Project? Thank you, Vintage. I appreciate that big time. The real Daniel Ramirez. Oh, he changed it to Raniel Demiris. That's funny. Great openings and rebuttals. Let's fucking go. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that big time. We got Left-Handed Assassin sends in 5, just showing some support. I appreciate that big time. We got Ice Damey on the JS side said, let me hear that, Toby.
It's my when I get a super chat. It goes, I've been broke my whole life. That's Toby. Toby McGuire.
Okay. Jack of Blades comes in for 5. Says, Avarice, will you debate me on what is the best anime of all time currently? Your pick versus my pick. Whenever is the best for you, we can figure it out. So
You guys pick these topics like best anime or worst cult. And then all you have to do is go through a list of ones that this one's better in this way, this one's better in this way, this one's worse in this way, this one's worse in this way.
Well, to be fair, this was primarily to introduce Mankind Project to the public. So I think I did a fantastic job at doing so.
No, I know. Yeah.
But
the fact that you,
I think I achieved my goal. Thank you very much.
The fact that you have to expose them, maybe it's not the most dangerous yet.
I think it is dangerous, and I think that they secretly subvert people using
Because all the ones I said have already been exposed, but they're
centralized
still
power.
active.
Again, they were attempted to be exposed 3 times. Netflix even went and did a hit piece on it, and then had to turn around 2 years later, remove that video, and then they made a pro piece for it.
That's crazy.
And I actually had
we
the
got-
hit piece video. If you want to see, they
we
removed it.
got
It was
truncated-
considered a tax write-off. So it's like gone forever.
We got truncated visuals coming in for $5. Says, question for both: if MKP stopped existing tomorrow, what would be different? And thank you,
Nothing.
Speakeasy, for the show. Thank you for the $5.
Nothing
would
would
be-
be different. Men would still be being weakened from the media, from feminism, from
I
culture.
listen. If MKP like stopped existing, right? I don't know. Like if I think the indoctrination has already been instilled pretty deep into these men. But let's say it never happened, right? At all. I think that we would have a larger sect of stronger men. A way. I think, to be honest, I think that Washington State would probably be a red state.
Drum circles and hippies dancing and hitting drums with their shirts off and doing drugs and doing weird sexual stuff.
I'm
has been
thoroughly
around-
convinced.
Has been
I'm
around
thoroughly
forever.
convinced. I'm thoroughly convinced that Washington State would be a red state.
If Mankind Project didn't exist.
Yep.
Do you think hippies weren't doing drum circles? They were. The 70s was was the free love era. That was before the Mankind Project.
You're talking about when it was recorded. Mankind Project, and I have documents from 1962. And that's when it started. That's when they started doing the research and writing that's when they started coming up with the plan on how to do the weekend. What you're doing is you're conflating the day they went on the weekend. Stop doing that. Just because they went on the weekend in 1984 and made their first Warrior Weekend does not mean that that's when it starts. Or did the Bible just start when Jesus died? Did the Bible just start when Jesus was born?
The Rich Tosi guy.
Did the Bible just start when the I don't care what you're saying. What the Rich Tosi guy is saying.
Christianity started.
There was 3 guys, and you're only saying 2 of them.
Okay, that's what they said.
No, you're only hearing 2 guys
I don't
that
have
were
the secret insider.
You're hearing 2 guys disgruntled years later.
They're not disgruntled. They're still in it.
No, one is.
Okay, well, isn't the other guy dead, Bill?
The third guy's dead.
Anyway, it's hard to find information on this because it's secretive.
Yes, because you didn't do your due diligence because you're not a member. And in order to get hold on, just like the military, right? You need to be indoctrinated. You need to be indoctrinated before you get the paperwork.
Speaking of that, I signed up on a live stream and I gave him a fake phone number. Well, not a burner phone number. And as far as I know, they haven't called. They haven't emailed. So they're not pursuing me that hard. I was trying to go to the Monday night group.
I don't at your channel.
I don't look at the thing is that here's the thing. When you do an application for one of those, they do extensive background check on who to call. Right. And if it doesn't look like an actual person, they're not going to call you back.
They see Navus on your channel. They're like, nope.
Well, there you go.
Well, I was doing a live stream called Exposing the Mankind Project debate research.
Shit.
Probably
you should have named it something else, probably. Zach comes in for 10, says, part 1. I think I heard that the Mankind Project is one of, if not the leading cults that are weakening men, and they're successful in doing so, permeating society. Part 2, which in turn, it gives a massive boost to all these other cults that are more violent in other religions and countries that have nefarious intentions. Okay, I see. So what Zach is saying is that because of MKP weakening men in society, it gives a massive boost to other cults to then recruit these men,
or other more violent,
or kill them. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm saying that all of these things predate Mankind Project. If Mankind Project ends, men are still being weakened through the churches, through the media.
The church isn't weakening them, right? It was MKP, and this is what I was trying to get at off the get-go, is MKP promoting and indoctrinating the gay LGBTQ or GLBTQ into the Protestant churches. They actually, just so we're clear, those gay pastors in Protestant churches are members of MKP.
You can't just make that claim.
I can't. Here we go. Let's go to a member list, and I'll show you one that
you're going to find me some members who also happen to be pastors.
I circled the major deacon of a mega church on my opening of an LGBTQ pastor.
Okay, what we're having a chicken or the egg argument here. You're saying Mankind Project is influencing the culture, making men weaker. I'm saying weak men and the culture influence groups like the Mankind Project starting.
No, what I'm saying is that Mankind Project is one of the igniters and starters. It's one of the eggs because it comes from it only nested from the ideology and not a cult.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
All right. We got Johnny McVito comes in for 5. Says, Av, would a cult that controls major events, plans tragedies, orchestrate hits, pulls media strings be more dangerous than the MKP? Sea of Elites.
Sea of the Elites?
Or
again,
Sea of the Elites.
Again,
is that a cult? I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah,
Or
again,
is that like
this-
the C group in Scientology is a bunch of elites?
again, this is if you're going with Scientology here, we've already discussed this.
I
in
thought
depth.
about something like yeah, but I don't think you
And
refuted
we're
it.
talking about small. Well, I'm talking about like, and with Scientology, I don't think I think it's a degrading.
You
and
said
it
it's an
has-
established religion.
and it has been established religion as we see it. So
Legally, but not.
well, I
don't
can't
think
do anything about that.
legitimately.
I'm sorry, not my fault.
Would Illuminati be a cult?
I don't know. Would it?
That would be a bunch of elites who control the world and do stuff.
Again,
But
but they're
or is
not
that
active.
a fraternity?
I would say they're active. Are they? Or are they
Illuminati's not
fraternity?
active. I don't know.
I don't know.
Pretty secretive. I could just make up a bunch of stuff and blame it on the Illuminati.
You could, but I'd like to see evidence. I have a lot of evidence. I
Gay
submitted.
pastors are actually in the Illuminati.
I submitted a bunch of evidence to Speakeasy. Like even on the rituals, like on how to do the rituals. I even have like breakdowns on how to do the rebirthing ritual. Would you like the breakdown again? I can reread it on how to get naked and crawl through other men.
I heard about that. The birth canal. They crawl through the birth canal. Which
Yeah.
it's interesting when you were saying JS is going to turn out gay because he's going to get indoctrinated into the MKP, but you already did it.
Yeah, I did do it. But here's the difference. I was born into it. I was like Bane. I was born into the dark.
I'm like Bane.
I had to come out.
Okay. Dogs
born
comes
into the
in
Vedas.
with $2, just saying with laughing, saying "Goat lives matter." Salute, easy. Hey, salute to you, dogs, and yes, goat lives do matter. That is true. Johnny McVito comes in with another 5. Says, "JS, if Islam is a cult, what separates other religions from falling into this category? Christianity, Buddhism, Shintoism, Hinduism, Orthodoxy."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a weird word. Cult. It's hard to define. It's more like when you see it, it's easier to say the characteristics of it. That's why Christianity, I think that it has to be the charismatic leader. And if you're borrowing from another religion and twisting them, and you have one person who says, I'm the arbiter of all this, I'm the chosen one, I'm going to lead, like Mormonism and Islam. But with Christianity, that's multiple prophets over thousands of years who all their stories all match up. They're different places, different times. So that's why I would say Christianity is not a cult in that way. Hinduism, Buddhism, Shintoism, I don't know enough about them. Orthodoxy would be Christianity. So I can tell you why Christianity is not a cult. I can't tell you why those other ones aren't cults. And then I can tell you why Islam and Mormonism is a cult. But it's a tough word to define.
All right. Jack of Blades came in with $2. Said, "No answer to my question." Oh yeah, you didn't answer if you'll debate him.
No, not that's it too. Like Jess saying, I only did this one to showcase the Mankind Project. That's why I took it so broad. Just to contend for fun. I'm not going to take a super broad one like that.
And Aber said he doesn't even want to do like formal debates. This took months to set up. We were talking about this for months.
Yeah, this took. Yeah, I don't. Not fun for me. You guys don't know the anxiety behind all this. Like in that setting up that video, I had a whole team for that opening. We had
Yeah,
it
you
was
guys edited that together and clipped my streams.
That shit was
yeah,
fun.
it was a lot of work. I went through a lot of work. I put the effort in. So
And
I
I'm just messing with you. I'm not trying to downplay because that's what
No,
I was like, man, I'm
I
gonna
hear-
feel bad trying to shit on his lived experience.
No,
but-
listen. I came in. I listened. I was like, listen. I'm gonna do something that no one's ever done. I'm gonna do something kind of avarice-y, and it's gonna be unexpected. And I hope I threw out a good show. Was the answer. So
100%. Next one comes in from Johnny McVito. Says, both. Is Mankind Project equal, greater, or less dangerous than the Bohemian
It's the same.
Grove?
So I
Leads
actually
to the cult of elite. Oh, so that's
I already,
what
I already
they meant by
had
sea
yeah.
of elites. They meant Johnny
Oh,
meant
I already
cult
they're
of
this
elites.
they're the same. So they're the same elites.
And the League of the
I
Illuminati.
actually that was the people being circled. I actually have a whole list of Bohemian Grove being linked with Burning Man and MKP from the home site in Bellingham, Washington, and their address. So I had all of that linked.
But Illuminati, the Bohemian Grove, the elite, the cult of the elites, this has been around since thousands of years.
No, I understand, but here's the thing: when you take something like let's say that, right, and then it now becomes MKP, and they now take orders to
but it hasn't.
MKP.
That's just
But
a branch of it.
again, I'm saying MKP is a sole authority. It's moving on its own. It's taking those over. It now kind of dictates the rules of Burning Man.
But if the root of the problem is
if the root's gone,
Illuminati,
if the root's
feminism,
gone, if the root's gone, and all that's left is
the
that
root's not
branch,
gone.
I think those. I don't see the League of Illuminati anymore.
Well, you never saw the Illuminati. They were always in the shadows.
I don't see their danger or their not like.
And if some of the
disagree on
guys
that.
at the Bohemian Grove are Mankind Project guys, and then they go out and they run Mankind Project, but all of them aren't, then that means that they're an offshoot of something bigger and more dangerous.
No, so what happens is they go out there and they what they do is they all like kind of do ritualistic things and become like one in spirit. Then they come back and then they get with elders and then they figure out like what doctrine they want to run for their thing, right? From what they learned from the ritual or how to set up that ritual that was made there, right? This is just other like cults or other cults moving around or sharing information. All you're doing is saying they're sharing information.
All right. Let me see. I think we're caught up on.
Is just because Microsoft and Apple go to the same convention, does that mean that they're working together?
No.
Thank you.
That's my point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These people, like there's some people there that go to the convention in Bohemian Grove is the convention.
Right. And the convention runner is more dangerous than all the little shops at the convention.
No, really. So are you saying that James Kuntz is more dangerous than Andrew Wilson?
No.
Well, wait. No, you just said the shop, the convention runner is more valuable than the players.
Yeah, but this is not a...
What? No, yes, it is. It's a convention.
I don't think it's analogous.
What?
Anyway.
How? Yeah, they come together for ideas to come together, do rituals, to talk about rituals and explain them, or try to debate on which one's better and things like that, or they do massive ritual together.
If Andrew goes to DebateCon, that doesn't mean he's a member of the modern day debate team. If a Mankind Project guy goes to an Illuminati
and
Bohemian
you
Grove
can't
meeting, he is a member of the Illuminati.
you can't prove that everybody at the Bohemian Grove is a member. That's actually false.
They're not going to let
that you
people
can't
in
put
who aren't members.
that's false though. What you're doing is you're doing a false statement here. People at Bohemian Grove, that's the event. I want to be very clear. That's all it's ever been is an event, just like Burning Man. They're events. That's not like a cult of people. That's an event of people. That's it. Like Woodstock.
All
right. So that's it on super chats over here in the Q&A from the chat. First one we have is from Even Lord. Says, question for Avarice: why doesn't he consider the esoteric Chinese nationalist socialist Confucian
this one came
cult that advocates for China to conquer the world and castrate the male Chinese and colonize
again
the world?
I had an answer for this one too. This is the same answer for everything else. If it's nationalism, are we going to just count any country as a cult? Is America a cult? Is the Democratic Party a cult?
Political cults are a category of cult.
Is MAGA a cult? Are you going to say MAGA is a cult right now?
Some
Go
people
ahead,
would say it is.
Say no. Go ahead. You say MAGA's a cult. Go ahead.
MAGA's
No,
not
go
a
ahead.
cult.
Go ahead. Say it.
No, MAGA's
No,
not a
say it.
cult, but I
No,
would
say
say
it.
like
Go ahead.
the-
I want to hear it from your mouth. Go ahead. Say
MAGA's
MAGA's
not
a
a
cult.
cult. I don't.
Well, hold
think
on.
MAGA's a
But
cult.
if we're gonna just start calling anything that wants political, like anything with political establishment here, let's do it.
Extreme ideas.
Again, okay. So MAGA
doesn't have extreme ideas.
Some would say so.
They're pretty populist.
What about
ideas.
the J6ers? They're MAGA, aren't they?
Members of 7-6. Oh, the girl who stole the gavel from Nancy Pelosi's office was a member of 764. So 764 had anarcho-commie nihilistic extremists at J6 who were stirring up violence at J6. They were some of the infiltrators.
Now you're just like moving off into left field
That's
when I'm
proven.
asking you a question here.
That's proven. The girl that took the debt, she posted about it online, and they arrested her.
Again, I'm asking
and
you about
she was
that.
a member of
Can you just
764.
ask me, is MAGA a cult?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Next one comes in
KKK
from.
is.
Oh, we got Johnny McVito sent in another $2 to say that's false, Av.
What's false?
I think he's talking about
could have been something we said anytime
earlier answer about like the MKP is linked to the
Bohemian
Grove.
cult of the elites and stuff.
Yeah, there's I can even show you. If you go to the one with Dave McLean, it even says that he's involved with those things.
All
Right there on the main page.
Abe Dinkus in the chat comes in with Avarice, you made the claim all men in California are gay and feminist and emotional. Are you a man in California?
No, men born in California. I was born in Alaska. I moved to California.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Rev Russ comes in with, would you gentlemen agree that the most dangerous cults are not merely ones that do strange stuff in the woods, but those that openly and systematically attack
Christians? Yes, and that's what I'm trying to say. And it openly attacks Christianity by putting the LGBTQ plus into the doctrine and saying that it's okay.
But
And
they don't have
they go
anything.
there.
They don't have anything that specifically says you're
Yes,
not
they
allowed
do.
to believe in God.
No, they want you to believe in it. They want you to go in those churches and say, we believe in God and that it's okay to be gay.
Okay. But 764 is a Satanist cult. They hate Christians.
Again, it doesn't matter. Again, at least it's known. They're not going to go into the church. MKP's going right in.
But I got to answer this
Hold
question.
on, MKP's going in. What's worse, people that are avoiding the church or people going in subverting it?
Both, yeah, that is dangerous. I'll agree, yeah. But I to answer his question in my opening, I gave two metrics for dangerous. There's the hell maxing metric, which is bringing spirits away from heaven and
Which
shitting
you
on
agree, which you've already
Christianity and-
conceded they all do.
Well, some of them claim to be Christian. The 12 tribes, their whole draw is that they're like the most God-fearing Christians. The problem is they spare the rod, spoil the child too far.
And if we look at and if we look at any of these, they're all going to hell technically in our own eyes. So they're all hell maxing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Johnny comes in with $2, says they were also ballot stuffers in 2020 election.
764 was ballot stuffers. I haven't heard about that. I know there's pictures of them and videos of them doing all sorts of stuff.
Then we got one from the chat here. Another one comes in from Rev Russ, says, what's more dangerous, a bunch of middle-class white dudes from the burbs frolicking naked in the woods, or Satanists openly pushing Satanism in K-12 schools and
No,
other
but they're
public
also
spaces
they're
for
pushing
children?
They're pushing MKP in the schools too, and that's what I'm trying to say. The counselors actually tell children to go to MKP drumming circles, so they're both pushing them in K through 12 schools. And to say that the Satanists are pushing it in public spaces, it's the exact same. They're pushing MKP in public spaces. You're just picking one or the other.
Would
and
you
actually
consider
more counselors tell people to go to MKP, more men.
Would you consider the Church of Satan or Satanism to be a cult?
I don't know. I don't really know much about it. I kind of didn't even consider it for this.
Well,
all right.
I think all of these are satanic cults, and so, but I didn't throw it in my opening because it's like, I don't know, it's too broad. But I think it would be considered a cult.
Fair enough. Another one from Rev Russ says, what's more dangerous, a cult nobody ever heard of that sissifies men, or a cult that has beheaded some 80,000?
He's talking about Islam. I'm not going to contend with Islam. It's not a cult. Not seen as a cult. We don't even see it as a cult. If you want to keep going on with Islam being a cult, it's not how anyone sees it. Definitely.
But I only conceded Islam for the sake of debate because I figured that this is what would happen. You say, well, is it a religion or is it a cult? And then we have to go into, is Christianity a religion or a cult? I don't think they're comparable. I think Islam is a cult. But if it is, then if Islam is a cult, is it the most dangerous cult?
If I would concede if Islam was considered a cult,
then it would be the most dangerous.
It's not a cult, though. It's not
a cult.
it's not. But it's not definitionally speaking, and we've already gone through this before. And this is how we look at it. Modernity does not see that as a cult. It sees it as
it fit all the criteria.
Okay, then so does Christianity, and then that's more dangerous than Islam.
Yeah, but I
no. Same thing. No, then if you want to bite, if you want to bite the bullet, I'm going to say according to what I laid out, Christianity is, and then Christianity is the most dangerous.
Okay, well, I don't agree to your definition.
Yeah, so there we go. So I don't agree to Islam. I'm not going to sit on this.
All right. And actually, I think that's it for the questions there. Yeah, it looks like that's it for the questions, and we only got a little bit over a minute there, so no problem to wrap it up there. We're gonna wrap up the Q&A for tonight, and I want to say thank you to everyone in the live chat for all the questions, the engagement, the support. It's what allows me to keep bringing you these debates, the entire Swords of Reason experience week after week. So thank you all. I appreciate every single one of you. And of course, huge thank you to our debaters for stepping into the arena, sharpening their ideas in front of us all. Before we move on, let me check real quick. Are you both planning to stay for the open panel?
I'll stay for a bit.
Yeah, I got like 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, awesome. So here's what's happening next. We're going to roll the debate outro song and video. It's going to run for about 4 minutes. Perfect time for everyone. Hit the washroom, grab a drink, stretch your legs, whatever you need to do before the Chaos and Chill open panel begins. During the outro, I'm going to drop a link in the chat for anyone who wants to join the open panel, test your ideas, continue the conversation on tonight's topic. Anyone is welcome to hop in. Just come ready to, think, question, debate. And if you're coming to try and just like troll, spurg over everyone, bring personal dramas, you're just going to get muted, then most likely booted real quick. So while you're ahead with this idea, just quit. And before we run the outro, just one last reminder, make sure you guys go subscribe to both the debaters, okay? Their links are in the description, and if you're enjoying these debates, hit subscribe to the Speakeasy channel as well, so you don't miss any upcoming Swords of Reason battles. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. This is where logic meets passion. All right, let's roll the outro, and I'll see you all in a few minutes for the Chaos and Chill.
Step into the circle where the echoes collide. Truth through the static, no place to hide. Iron tongues, sharpen fire in our breath. We dance with conviction on the edge of death. Your words are bullets, mine are storms. Ideas forged where lightning forms. No retreat, no treason. We clash our swords of reason. Cut through lies with steel precision. No faith, no fear, just raw collision. We clash our swords of reason. Facts burn brighter than a prophet's flame. Egos crumble, but the truth remains. Every scar, a mark of thought's crusade. In the battlefield of minds we've made. Speak your truth, but bear the cost. Every claim can still get lost in the war of voice and vision. Feel the friction. We clash our swords of reason. No silence left for indecision. Ideas break with loud precision. We clash our swords of reason. Strike me with logic, I'll bleed my proof. We cut through chaos to carve out truth. Let the sparks fly, let the echo scream. This is no debate, it's a metal dream. We clash our swords of reason. In the storm of thought's collision. Forged in fire, pure precision. We clash our swords of reason. Reason bleeds but never dies. No surrender, no retreat. In the war of words, we find a beat. Swords of reason. Oh.
And we're back.
Yo.
What's
So,
happening?
look. The reality is, you're both fucking wrong. There's a way more dangerous cult. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's this really far right, like Christian nationalist cult. It's called the
Oh, yeah?
Crucible, and it's headed by this guy
Oh,
named
no.
Andrew Wilson. Right? It's fucking dangerous.
You should
Wait,
tell
wait.
somebody about that, Stillborn. You should.
But that
really-
doesn't make me
Oh
wrong.
fuck! This isn't a cult.
You're
Come on,
right.
guys, let's go.
If the Crucible is more dangerous than the Mankind Project, then I win.
Yeah.
Well, I came up here just real quick to kind of tangle with the assertion that Islam is a cult. I think you guys are wrong. It's not a religion. It's not a cult. It's a governance system. All right. And I think that's really the trick they play. The Islamic people, they want you to believe, oh, it's just a religion because they can hide behind that. But so, like when it comes to Islam, it was. Christianity has a separation of understanding like the godly kingdom and earthly rule, like render unto Caesar what is Caesar. Muhammad didn't render unto Caesar. He replaced Caesar. He was a warlord. He was a judge. It was everything. It's a system designed to subject and rule. And the sooner we start identifying that and making it that the descriptor of Islam, we have more ground to stand on from keeping them from spreading like ants and taking over shit. Because they hide behind that label.
It's not a cult too. Like there are political cults and
it doesn't fit the criteria of a cult. Because here's the thing. Look, in Islam, this isn't defending Islam, but Islam has a religion. Hold on. It has a tradition going back to 1400 years where they had internal debate. Give me a cult that allows internal debate over ideas to tell them that the leaders that's wrong. No, the cults usually have a cult of personality.
Talmudic Judaism?
What they say. Well, okay, but now they're very similar. So,
this is the
no. Islam and Judaism does have a lot of similarities. I'll give you that one, Steelborn. But
hey,
I'm specifically
Steelborn,
talking
are
about
you a
Islam.
fighter pilot, or do you want to be a fighter pilot? Is that like
He's
your goal in
pretending.
life?
Leave him alone.
Like
Leave
that's
him
all I was
alone.
wondering. Like he's like trying to be Iceman or something from Top Gun. Or something.
He saw.
He's like walked in. He's like, "How'd you pull off an argument like that?"
Sunglasses,
because I was in
code name Maverick.
Do you want the explanation? Like actually,
the glasses.
Why
We're
I
all
wear the
waiting.
sunglasses. So when I'm
I
around
don't
the
really
stream,
care.
I usually have two monitors running. I have my Streamlabs and I have the StreamYard and I have all kinds of shit, right? And I don't know, and I have two cameras and I can't fucking consistently look at the right one. So rather than just like looking at nothingness, I just put on the glasses and now you don't know where I'm looking.
Yeah, well,
wow,
That seems a little obsessed.
What were you saying you were a member of for 9 years, TV?
I was in Burning Man for 9 years. I worked for them.
yeah. So
Nice.
do you know David McLean?
We were
I
just
don't-
talking about me
I don't
going
know
to
him
Burning Man.
personally, but I
But
know
you
how
know-
they use this
you-
like exchange of ideas to.
Yep,
subvert
and
people.
so you know of David McLean, right? His
Yeah.
name is David. Yep, and let me so be clear, he's a gray-headed old man now, leader of the Rangers, correct?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Also board of MKP and the person I call father.
Oh,
Like your real life father?
Closest thing I
Dun,
had to
dun,
a father.
dun.
So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, somebody was trying. We were talking about I should go to Burning Man to do like a little documentary.
So
It's like,
as
No,
you can
just,
see,
I just
fair
here,
but I just want to be very clear as I just correlated how the subversion works, and like as TV just said, Burning Man and Bohemian Grove, these are just ritual like gatherings. That's all they ever are. You pick sites and you get your campsite, and you're stuck to your cult corner, kind of.
Yeah. But they also, in the use of psych and drugs and stuff, they subvert the idea that you don't matter as an individual. They say, oh, you're part of the collective, you know.
Yeah,
And
I guarantee
and
you know I guarantee if you're part of Burning Man, you know my real father and my brother.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the potable water logistics.
My
5 years, and then before that I did like I was part
my
of the
my
staff
father ran the
commissary.
med tent for years.
At least you didn't
And
have
then-
gray water logistics.
And then my brother and my cousins all did the bike repair shop.
Oh yeah, yellow bike.
So,
yeah, I
yeah,
probably do. know
so, yeah.
My aunt threw up on
So-
Steven Spielberg once.
So, Steelborn, are you sure you didn't get the idea for your glasses from First Amender? You saw us debate.
I don't care about his glasses.
God damn it, he fucking got me.
Yeah, okay.
What's
Yeah, that's what I thought.
guys, he's
You were
actually my idol. He's my hero.
You need to get the bandana too, so you get the
Oh
solid
my
snake.
god.
I don't have
Define cult, Mo.
Define cult.
Yeah.
Well, you typically have like a cult of personality figure. You have doctrine that is unquestionable. You have some sort of centralized power structure for them. There's isolation aspects. There's a lot of things that can go into it, but there's a lot of attributes you can attribute to a cult, but there are a lot of things that repeat.
Like Muhammad. Charismatic figure, goes out, has an unquestionable doctrine that was given to him by God. Starts a group of people with a religious or philosophical document.
Cults are very not big. They're not very big fans of allowing internal debate. So I'm sorry, it doesn't fit.
There's a difference between false religion and cult.
Yeah.
Who's not fans of internal debate?
Also, like cults. They don't want their authority being questioned.
Yeah, Muhammad was real fond of his authority being questioned.
They have going back 1,400 years. There was a debates inside the Islam. Yes, you can look it up.
Debates for determining the hadiths.
And also, many cults have religious doctrine. They are religious.
Yeah, so
they're religious cults.
So basically, the common characteristics of a cult: you see authoritarian leadership, intense control of members, isolation from outsiders, psychological manipulation, punishment for dissent, exploitation, financial, sexual, or emotional, claims of exclusive truth or salvation, pressure to cut off family ties, friends. Can you tell me how that doesn't define most of the left?
That's kind of wild.
Well, yeah,
sounds like a lot of religions too, though.
It's a pretty broad definition. I mean, you could fit a lot of things into that.
I mean, that's my point. There's a lot of churches.
Here's reality.
Points.
Big figures.
The way cult is used in modernity doesn't mean anything. It literally doesn't mean anything. Anything's a cult if it's just some group that does goofy shit.
Right. I don't think that's why I would question if the Mankind Project is really a cult, or is it a men's group? Is it a fraternity?
Look, my angle is I want to use a descriptor for Islam as a governance system because I think it's better to put them in that category so we can identify the threat more effectively because they hide behind the idea of their religion. They hide behind that they're religion, man.
Part of a cult is it needs to be a religion.
No, there's no entailment that a cult needs to be a religion.
I'm saying that the definition that you gave, Steelborn, is too broad. We could put everything in there.
Yeah,
I'm saying one of the qualifiers it needs to have is it needs to be religious. So
I don't think that you could put anything. I don't think you could put anything in there.
Islam, LDS.
I don't think you could put anything in this definition that I gave.
What are you talking about?
No.
You could be your priest, stuff like that.
So there's
it'll be lacking one way or other. Is probably what he's trying to say.
There's things that have not centralized leadership that we still would consider a cult. There's things that have not a small group, they're huge, and we still consider them a cult. So there's, the words, I don't know, the words too flexible.
Well, I think the way I would distinguish between basically a cult and another group would the two main characteristics: isolation from the outside world, and
that's a big one, yeah.
That's like one of the main ones, and then the other one is actually pressure to cut off your family and friends.
So then, Mankind Project wouldn't be a cult because after you get out, you go right back home and live your life.
No, they don't. They
so
pressure
the Amish
you.
is a cult?
But that's the thing. They pressure you to push out the women in your life.
Cult by that definition.
The Amish are a cult. Oh my God!
That's where you're wrong.
I do think the Amish are cult,
they actually pressure you to push the women out of your life.
Hello,
but they don't isolate you. They don't force you.
Yeah, they do isolate you through the integrated
They encourage
groups.
you. They try to play the mind games and manipulate you.
That's why I think you're wrong.
You
again, you're encouraged through the I groups to show up, and then you're getting held accountable to show up through the other men.
But you're not living in a commune somewhere where you can't leave.
You still have to reject your family if they don't agree with you.
All right, real quick. What are the cults that you listed again, JS?
I listed 12 tribes, children of God.
Can you leave Islam?
Can you leave Islam? If you want a fatwa on your head, they can kill you too if you leave.
Could like a let's say you're
you can physically leave all of these
hold on. Let's say you're a Muslim in America. Can you leave Islam?
Yeah, there's certain areas that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to hang out in Dearborn.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if somebody wasn't let's say somebody grew up in a Muslim family in America, can they leave Islam?
You can leave all of these cults. Physically, you can leave them.
So then, how is it that if you can leave the Mankind Project, That's now not a cult. That doesn't make
Well,
sense.
I'm saying that the isolation thing, even that's like a loose definition because there's been people who have left. Aver says Mankind Project is a cult, but you leave for the week and you come back on the weekends.
It's not about leaving, it's about rejecting everybody else.
Well, that's with everything though. You could get rejected in any religion or whatever. There's
No,
not much.
you say I'm a part of this, and family, you're telling me that it's dangerous, so I reject you.
Yeah, if your kid slaps on a burqa and says, "I'm going to start following, Islam," then yeah, your family's going to reject you. Same thing,
Yeah,
vice
it's not
versa.
it's not about like keeping
Rejection's not
people in one
exclusive
area.
to cults. It could be tied to religion as well. So what's the main criteria that's the threshold breaker for identifying a cult? I feel like in some level it has to be its intentions, whether that be like, nefarious or, like world domination, something like that.
Real quick, have either of you guys, or any of you guys ever heard of what's called the BITE model for determining cults?
Yeah, they brought it up.
Avarice brought it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see what the problem is with that either, with that definition.
Yeah, well, behavior, something, control,
Behavior, information,
emotion.
thought, and emotional control.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Behavior, information, thought, and emotion control. Okay.
Just like the video. Did you feel the emotional control over the video? It was great.
Okay, regardless, all these things that I brought up fit into that. So Aleph, 764, 12 tribes, Children of God, Islam, Mormons, Seven-Day Adventists, Scientology.
Well, it depends what you mean. What's wrong with Scientology? It's like I'm not quite sure. They just like to have dinner plates on their chest.
And that's just some of them.
And they like aliens and comic
So
books.
wait, under the BITE model, how is the internet cult you're talking about? How are they doing information control from the BITE model?
Well, what about the Mormons?
They're not. They're not. There is no control. There is no.
Well,
they have
I'm
no,
asking. I was asking
They
JS
have no
Average. It was your point.
The whole reason that they're being investigated is because they use coercion and manipulation to control people. Then they gather information
Lost my
as
voice
blackmail.
there. I'm a little under the weather. Excuse me.
They, of course, they don't actually go in and like tie this person's hands up to control their behavior, the information they are allowed to do, but they use coercion and manipulation to
Okay, so they don't fit the BITE model. Got
steer
it.
people into certain okay, you're so God, you're so okay.
Well, yeah, I'm letting you talk, but you're not
so-
making you're
so
not making the argument.
snide
So
because I can do that with everyone. How does Scientology control your information if you can leave and go get on the computer down the street?
Yes,
well, no, they
How
actually
does
have
Mankind
information control.
Project-
Well,
how
they
does-
actually,
how
I can
does
answer that.
Mankind
They
Project
actually
control your
have quite a bit of
behavior if
information
avarice
control.
left?
They're very secretive of their the upper.
Okay,
they
so
only allow
nothing's a
like the
cult.
upper echelon to access the real gritty, nitty gritty stuff.
In order to control
Well, then they
somebody's
take your cell
behavior,
phones and
emotions, thoughts,
their big
you'd have to lock them in a dark box. So the only thing that counts as a cult is
Scientology's
people who
done that
lock
to some people.
in dark boxes. I know.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
so
some
you
of them
don't
have
know.
done that.
You don't know that doesn't happen on the weekend.
Well, how big is the box that we're talking about? Is it like big enough for a lobster or what?
And how long do they keep you in the box?
How?
Yes.
What do you mean
Or
by
you-
a box? I'm just like,
Why are we doing Jordan Peterson?
I don't know. Because he joined the
What
Daily
more-
Wire cult.
What Mormons are you talking about?
I didn't realize that was Jordan Peterson you were drawing there.
All of them? Are you talking about the big ones with that live in Utah? Are those? Are you talking about those two?
Well, those are fake Mormons. Those aren't Mormons. Those are
Oh,
fake.
okay. So
well-
no true Scotsman. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, there is
You
true
said all of
Mormons.
them.
There's true Mormons. They practice polygamy. They have child wives. They do.
Oh, so you're
they do
where are you
sexual-
getting this? Where are you getting this from? Like
From-
who made you the arbiter of who's a Mormon or not? Just curious.
The leaders of
Joseph
Mormonism.
Smith.
Joseph
Smith. Does Joseph Smith talk to you, JS? Did he give you insight? Did he give you revelation?
Prophesize to you,
Do you really
JS.
think that's like a clever argument? You sound retarded.
No, we're just fucking with you. 'cause
No, it's
like,
fun.
It's
It's
funny
fun,
because
yeah.
we're like,
Oh, okay.
we asked the Mormons, how do you know that Mormonism is true? And it's ultimately it's like because Joseph Smith says so.
You gave the same, yeah, you gave the same argument. Yeah, it's
No,
just
I
funny.
know you don't, but we were just like, how do you know who's the Mormon? And you're like Joseph
It's
Smith.
a joke, JS.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
But
Jess is taking this serious. Like, guys, no,
Well,
this
the
is
point
Jay-
stands.
here.
No. How dare you? That's not a proper argument. Give me a
What do you
syllogism.
mean,
How dare you?
Joseph
if Joseph Smith said this is what Mormonism is, and he started Mormonism, and there's the group, the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, who I call the Latter-day Saints. They do what their prophet told them to do, and they follow the rules that he laid down. And then there's a whole nother sect that branched off that separates themselves from them and says, we want to be normal. We want to wear the white collared shirts and cut our hair short and stuff and do everything different
So
than
wait,
what the prophet said. Those
Are you
fake
saying that
Mormons.
all the guys riding around on bikes, those are like a different denominator?
same way-
They split. They're different.
It's the same way
denominations?
we would. It's the same way the Orthodox would say
Yeah.
a Protestant is a fake Christian. It's the same way.
Interesting. So where are the OG
We'd all
Mormons
say the
then?
gay
I don't ever
church
see
is a
those
fake
at.
Christian.
In the huts in the desert. But you said that the Mormons
shit,
were
okay.
the
They don't have huts. They have
richest-
mansions.
They have huts. They're the
Seven
richest
Wives.
religion in
Haven't
the,
seen them. He
But
was
they don't
there.
drink coffee, so I'm out.
Emmett built the roofs.
The guys that are down in
You've
the
never
desert,
seen.
that's
You've never
nice.
seen a big old Ford F-650 pull up and a cowboy gets out with a hat on and 6 wives pour
Those
out
are
of the back?
Mormons?
That guy's got
I thought that was just like any Mexican family.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's what I
I've seen
thought.
that in Mexican families,
an arrow back.
especially the ones that are connected to the cartels.
talking
But
about
anyway,
the
that's
specific
the
wives.
point.
We can have more than one Mexican wife.
Sometimes,
My wife. Let's get
especially in
that slave
Mexico,
in
but you
action.
have to pay the
No.
government.
I don't think you've been with a Latina if you think you have more than one Mexican wife.
No, that's why I was
Yeah.
getting angry. I'm with one. I've
Me
only
and
got
Morty.
one.
Me too, Avarice. It's unfair.
Me
not
and
fair.
Morty.
But
So all I've honestly heard from this whole argument is that JS is just mad at the Mormons and the Sand Mormons and calls them cults, but never really.
I've caught a lot of.
no,
He's-
the Mormons are not
he's
real
jelly of their big
Mormons,
mansions.
and the Sand Mormons are real Mormons. But the
Well,
ones
all
that have
I've
a lot
heard
of
from you
money
guys is
the
a bunch of
not Mormons
wannabe,
that
a bunch
are
of wannabe
Mormons.
funny trolls, but you guys suck at it.
Oh yeah,
No,
I'm still
I
trying
I
to
gave you
figure.
legit, I
did-
gave
you
you two.
three.
I gave you two academic definitions of a cult, and you
Yeah,
didn't
no,
give it a
that's fine.
counter
I
argument
didn't
to
do
either of them.
shit. Go
No,
fuck
what are you
yourself.
talking about?
I
JS
gave that
said
same-
those same academic.
I gave that same definition in my opening, but you didn't even watch the debate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
JS
saw
already
you
was making that
draw.
comparison. If for your loose definition of cult there. That's
Yeah,
why I
I
was
saw you
trying to
laugh at my
pinpoint it down
drawing.
to something more like what's the threshold breaker? Because fuck, at that point,
You know what,
everything could be
Johnny
a cult.
McVito? I'm going to shave your beard off at DebateCon.
Oh,
Okay.
I'd let you though if I could go.
Yeah, my
And then
point is
you
Just
nothing.
wanna real quick. I just want to let the chat know that tonight we're going to be doing a little bit shorter of an open panel, so we're going to be wrapping up around 12 a.m. Eastern time, unless we unlock a hot seat or VKO. I'll obviously do that, but I just wanted to let chat know. So if there's anybody
Yeah,
that wants
you
to come up
penniless
here and get
chat.
something in, or if there's anybody who has an idea for a question for one of the debaters, come get it in.
Yeah, I gotta go in like 5 minutes. So
I got a
Okay,
question for
for-
JS.
Oh,
JS,
shit.
when are you gonna do the? When are you
Well,
gonna
I
do the
spoke
ritual
too
in the woods
soon,
with
I
the
guess.
stick?
1 second, sorry. I guess I spoke too soon. On
You
the
know.
Rumble side here, we got a big $300 Rumble rant. So
Whoa.
the hot seat is officially unlocked. All right, so at 12 a.m. we're going to be starting the hot seat. Shout out to you, Jungle. You fucking
Yeah, I
legend.
was gonna say. Legend.
Yes. I have a question. When are you going to go on another suburban adventure?
Maybe
where-
that'll be his suburban. Maybe
My-
that'll be his adventure. He's gonna
my
go to the cult in the
wilderness
woods
adventure.
with the stick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
that-
urban adventure.
he's gonna go through the
JS.
mansion.
Head over to Burning Man and that's where he's next adventure.
I
Can
said
you
I was
imagine-
gonna try to.
Can
sneak
you
in and do
imagine
some
J-
journalism.
He's gonna-
Can you imagine JS comes back from weekend and he goes, "I'm no longer JS. I'm
JS.
I'm loving goat.
I'm Mountain Rock. yeah.
He's gonna come back. He's like, my name is. He's like, I am Spirit Eagle who steals
I
the
am
marshmallow
loving-
from the campfire.
I'm loving goat."
Freaking
Yeah,
egg.
get
That
you
would
a
be.
fly
I've gone
name.
through the tunnel.
No, I'm not going that
That
deep.
would be an amazing show, though. Just seeing you like, hey guys, next time on Everett Adventures, and you pull down like a KKK hood, but just infiltrating the fucking group.
Dude, just go to
God,
Burning Man
man.
wearing a MAGA hat. That'd be hilarious.
They'd probably get killed and buried somewhere.
They're all too
Saying
stoned
that
to do anything. They're just
endlessly.
gonna start. Their trip's just gonna. They're just gonna start freaking the fuck out on their trip because they're gonna see like the fascists and they're gonna like run away.
No, I'm not going on the Mankind Project camp, but I was trying to get into one of the online groups so that I could stream it and we could laugh at it.
You can make a recruitment video for him.
You know, what, we're all just gonna go to Burning Man, just so that JS feels safe to wear a MAGA hat. We'll all go to Burning
Well, yeah,
Man.
I just want to
Yeah,
let
we'll
everybody
get
know
a
that
art
JS.
car.
I'll remind everybody on JS's last minutes that JS conceded in my opening remarks. We got it on clip. He said he's going to lose the debate. Clearly, lost the debate.
What? I'm still not sure it's a cult. Shit. Looks like a bunch of dudes hanging out having a good time.
Yeah, we don't even know if it's a cult yet.
I don't consider like hanging out in the woods naked with other dudes a good time. We have very different distinctions of a good time.
Nobody's saying it's a good time, but
That's what Johnny just said.
Sounds like a good time. Hanging out. Just, dude, you never hang out with your buddies out there? Shit.
Wait,
Johnny wants to hang out naked with his buddies. You hear that shit?
Better leave that energy home.
Oh my god.
Johnny's sitting there going, "Hey, welcome over. Wait, why aren't you guys clothes? Why are you guys clothes on still?
Why am I the only naked? Yeah.
No clothes here at this party."
I think JS, the best way you could have argued this was you could have said you could be like, I think that Rust players are a cult. Okay.
just pick something random and
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, that's not random. That's a very specific argument. And you know what? Avarice
No, but I
probably
mean
would have
like a
conceded because he knows.
I think feminism is a worse cult. If that's a cult, then feminism's a cult.
Oh yeah, shit. Like I said, cult of the elites, fucking pulling the strings
That's an
behind the
ideology.
scenes.
Illuminati.
Feminism is just an ideology. That's right.
I
Yeah,
basically
Bill
just
Gates.
ran through a list of things that are more dangerous.
Feminism is gay communism.
Anything dangerous that we can describe as a cult, then that's
I mean,
more
would you say
dangerous.
would you say communism is a cult?
I don't know. We didn't even get into all that. Is Marxism?
I don't
a
know.
cult?
According to the two definitions we heard, it would be.
Ism is a belief, so it is a belief system. Marxism has a charismatic leader who started it, but it doesn't do isolation.
Right. So like
or,
everything is a cult.
Yeah, we're all
no,
cults.
that's
Wait, so JS, if I called it Scientologism, would it be a religion now instead of a cult?
no.
It'd be
What's
an
up,
ism.
Adam?
What's up, Adam? I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going?
I haven't seen anybody ever. I'm blind.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh damn.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Well, at least your hearing's really good.
It sucks
What?
for you. The
I didn't
video
hear
was
that.
great.
What brings you up here?
It changed my
Adam?
mind about everything.
What?
I said, what brings you up here, Adam?
No, I know. I'm asking. Apparently, I made a video that changed his mind about everything, or something. I didn't know that. I
it
didn't
did.
know I made a video.
No,
Like,
you
change the
didn't. I
hearts
did.
of everyone.
Well, I didn't do. Avarice did.
I don't know, but I got to head out, gentlemen.
Well, hold
I think
on,
you did good,
JS.
Yeah.
I take it like so. I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about when you're saying that. Like, 764 has like a Discord with like 20,000 active members or whatever fucking insane number you said.
So they have 450 cases under federal investigation right now, roughly 10,000 members operating across platforms, Telegram, Discord, Roblox, Minecraft. They're online, so they branch out fast and they change. They rebrand quickly, so it's hard to track them. And a lot of the users have 20 accounts, so even the number could be off.
Well,
Well, then
okay.
how'd
So
you
first
find
of
that
all,
number out?
well,
764 is
hold on.
It's
So-
big
so
enough.
first
It's
of all,
big enough to be a terrorist group in multiple countries.
Well,
and they,
JS. First of all, if you're saying that there's like a 10,000 supposed group, 10,000 supposed members, and then you're also saying, oh,
that they
each
have
of
multiple
them,
accounts, so it
yeah,
could be
each of
less
them is
than
going to have multiple
10,000.
accounts, then you can't actually, then even then, just immediately that throws the 10,000 number into question. And
Right.
also, the other thing is, I'm highly skeptical of saying that 764 is any bigger than like a few hundred people. Like I would actually be serious. I would actually seriously
how are
want to
there-
know what the particular source you have for this is.
It's worldwide.
Yeah, it's I don't know what you're talking about. It's worldwide,
scary.
and it's not just
So I put
764.
a video of myself on the internet. I'm
Yes,
worldwide.
so you are complaining.
Your image, but
Hey.
maybe not your influence.
You
Yeah.
are conflating groups
It's like
which are
smug, but
not-
it's dumb, Mo.
No,
you are
it fits into
conflating
what you
groups
just
which
said.
are- which are
It was
not
that's your
764 with
argument.
764.
It's worldwide because a few hundred people put internet videos up. Okay.
It's worldwide because they're a terrorist group in multiple countries. They have 450 American cases open.
Okay. So,
Damn.
There's video of
the-
multiple people killing themselves and killing other people, killing their pets, carving initials into their arms.
I'm not.
CP. They're trading CP all over the world by the
I
truck.
know about all.
So
of
I just
that.
want you to know that,
And
JS, by this standard,
Hold on.
Hold on. Let him talk.
I'm not disputing that there's a group of people who've done all this heinous shit. I'm familiar with.
You're just saying it's not that big.
Yes, that is
Okay.
what I'm saying, and I
That's
want to know
fine.
the sources and the things I'm interested in are the sources for size. Yes, they're bad, but it seems to me that they're just doing really, really bad stuff on a small scale. So the focus is like,
But that
making
doesn't disqualify it from being counted as a cult.
Yeah,
and
that
actually,
sounds-
that
I'm-
makes my argument stronger. because that means
I'm not
less
even
people are
challenging that
doing
it's a
more
cult right
heinous
now.
stuff.
I'm not even challenging that it's a cult right now. All
Okay.
I'm talking about is size. That's the only thing
Right,
I'm
size.
interested in.
Size of membership.
Okay, well, according to this, Telegram groups have counted 15,000 users in 764. That's just on Telegram.
That doesn't prove anything. Telegram, you can like add people.
And I think
like,
Discord's
join
where
them to
they're the
things.
biggest. But regardless, let's
Doesn't
say
prove
it's
anything.
only 100 members.
What?
If 100 members of those have amassed 10 deaths and 450 crimes, that means those 100 members are way more dangerous than the 50,000 Mankind Project members who haven't done nothing but off themselves because they're sad.
No,
Yeah,
No, they've also killed
exactly.
babies.
Exactly.
Hold
'cause the
on.
intent matters.
I am interested in responding to this. So I just disagree with that.
I don't have time. I have to
on
go
its-
like right now.
Okay. the
But I'll be
the argument's really
listening,
simple.
so I'll be listening.
JS, the argument I'm going to make is super simple. Mankind Project encourages its members to get abortions for their wives. If Mankind Projects did not exist, there's a good reason to believe that these abortions wouldn't happen. An abortion is comparable to 764 killing people. There are more abortions than 764 killing
Yeah.
people. Therefore, Mankind Project is more dangerous because it causes
Yeah.
more abortions than 764
Avarice-
caused suicides.
Avarice made this argument. Abortion was started by a eugenics feminist. If I count that as a cult, then that's a more dangerous cult. 'cause
No,
that's the
no,
roots of it.
JS. JS.
Yes, I know you said you got to go, but
Yeah, I
you're going to
gotta
listen
go.
to Adam's answer. So before Adam answers, go ahead and tell everybody where they
Yeah.
can find you quick.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
JS Urban Adventures, Monday nights, Dreaded Conservative Show, news and current events. Friday and Saturday nights, I stream all night. Check all that stuff out. Subscribe. We're almost at 6K. We're like 20 away. So, yeah. And we talked about the abortion thing in the debate, and I kind of responded to this already, but I'll listen to you guys. But I got to go to work. So, later.
Thank
Have
for
you
the
not,
great
JS?
job,
He's running,
guys.
everybody. That's what
Later.
God bless. I'm not running.
Rage quit.
Okay.
Rage quit.
So the reason that JS's response there does not work is because self-terminating, which is what 764 encourages people to do, is also not a cult. Self-terminating isn't a cult. If you terminate yourself, that doesn't mean you're in a cult. However, 764 does encourage people to do this, and so we can say that this is 764's fault. Similarly, abortion is not a cult. If you have an abortion, you are not necessarily